Schaefer. Happer and wow, Schaefer. Sautter and Mike. Yeah. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and wow, Schaefer. It's Happer and Mike.
Welcome in to Happer and Schaefer. It is Mike Schaefer sitting here in the one chair. Connor Happer out for the next couple days. Don't worry, though. The Mike S streak resumes. We did have a bit of a detour, at least for me now when Connor's been gone. It's been Michael Stibbs. And now we have brought back Mike Sautter. First time since April that he has filled in to co-host a show. I want to say the last time Mike Sautter co-hosted a show, it was the national championship, and UConn was set to take on Michigan in the national championship, and we have a lunch bet that I still owe you on.
You lost.
Yeah, UConn managed to stay within, I think, eight.
Yeah, I think it was 8.
8 or 8.5. I think they lost by 6 in a game that they never really were threatening, in my mind, to win much of the second half, but they did score enough down the stretch to give you that win, and I have not paid up, and that's on me. We're now months into this. I'm turning into the Damon Benning of this show. I make lunch bets, and then I do not pay up on them, and so I'll have to work with Sautter to figure that out. But he was kind enough to fill in for Connor today here on a Monday here in August as we roll along, inch a little bit closer to football season, and now have the 1620 The Zone golf tournament in our rear view. It was a successful event on Friday. Thank you to everybody that stopped by it, whether it was at Miracle Hill or at the Phoenix where the after party was. If you played in it, if you stopped by, if you just wanted to be a part of things, it was a highly, highly fun, successful Friday. And sounds like my sources tell me there is a great chance that this happens again in 2027.
Oh, yes.
And so, if you missed out this time, do not fret. We will be back next year, bigger, stronger than ever, and probably going to have more teams. So hopefully that could include you if you were not part of it. But a great event put on, and my appreciation for all people, whether it's the Miracle Hill people, the Phoenix, the food, the service there was great. And then, of course, everybody here at 1620 The Zone did and Usher Media did a tremendous job putting that event on. I was very curious how it was going to go because those events, when not done right, I've played in some rough golf scrambles. It's not always fun. It was a first class event, and so I just want to give an early Friday shout out on a Monday to everybody involved with it. Joe, you had a front row seat. You were part of the people getting things done. I did a little. I did my show, and then Happer and I did some stuff on the course, and then I stopped by and enjoyed the festivities at the Phoenix. But Joey actually put in work. So if you want to talk to someone who, boots on the ground and had a view and his foothold in all things, Joey, how'd you feel the event went?
I felt it went great. The weather was perfect all day. It rained just a tiny bit in the final hour of the midday show when Austin Jacobson joined Matt for their annual Friday 1 p.m. segment. It was just a great showing. All the listeners stopped by, said hello to us. Connor did a great job getting everybody ready for the 8:30 shotgun start. There was a time Johnny Rogers stopped over, and he from that moment, it was during the midday show. His team had the best score. They were shooting 5 under par at that time, halfway through. So I did not catch who won, who got first place in that golf scramble.
Yeah, we're hoping to get that information. I'll run through that a little bit later in the show. I want to say it was 14 under. Ultimately took it, and there was a ton of great prizes. And again, it was a lot of people had a lot of fun. It made me wonder, Mike. I was thinking about this when I was driving in because I knew we were going to be talking about it right at the beginning. When is the last time that you picked up a set of golf clubs?
Oh man, not last year. Year before,
but it's been within the last couple years. Did you play in one of the Corn Ferry media events that they had out at Pinnacle Bank?
I have done that before.
Yeah.
Yes. It was. So yeah, I didn't
You
play
like once every couple years.
Yeah, I didn't play last year, and I haven't played this year.
Any regrets on this?
Yeah, I do. I like golfing. I like golf. It's fun. Can't putt for anything like at all.
Well, there's a whole club of people. They're called amateur golfers. Generally.
I'm not a putter at all. But I'd feel pretty good about the fact that I could roll out there right now and hit a driver off the tee about 245. Something.
Just don't say 265. The show and the station have a bad relationship with that number after Matt McMaster told everyone that his average drive was 265. And then we had to teach him what average meant. And, that it wasn't really just cherry picking the 2 results that you liked out of the 10 swings that you had.
I think I could. I think I could just walk out there and about 245.
I felt pretty good. I walked out there, no warm up, no stretching, which is normally how I golf. I'm not a big warm up guy. I'm not the guy with a foam roller in the parking lot working out. I should be. Now I do not besmirch those that do this, but I have an ability to just get out of my car and go hit a driver. And so on Friday, I got out of the show and we went over to the first tee box, and I happened to know the group that was playing there, and they asked Happer and I to hit a couple shots, and I'm happy to report that mine went right down the middle of the fairway. They ended up utilizing it. They did inform me they did not turn it into a birdie, so I wasn't able to help them enough, I suppose. But I was happy that I could just show up and do that. Now, other groups, not so lucky. There was a few balls hitting to the trees, but what are you going to do?
Trees or the street?
No street. I didn't play. What is that? That's one out there at Miracle. That if you pull that thing left, you're going right there. Street, was that 120th that runs by?
Yeah. I believe so.
Okay. I kind of get. I like to think
or
I'm someone with natural.
There's a little bit of wall on there.
No, there's definitely wall. I like to think I have natural direction with things, and then I get on a golf course and I can get all turned around. And, whether it's Knowles or Champions, like you can see the elements of Maple or 120th or whatever from those courses, but I'm not always entirely sure where I'm at.
Yeah, the last time I played golf was a few years ago because I tore ligaments in my thumb, so I just it sidelined me, I guess.
Yeah, that would be the impact on that. My father-in-law is dealing with that a little bit.
I just feel like the power, I
didn't
have it, so that's why I haven't played golf.
Your hands, man, you got to protect them.
Yeah.
I
used to play golf a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Michael Severe would say that, and I was just like kind of dumbfounded by it. But he's really loved golf in the 80s. He was out there. Severe was out there. He's the Jet Award was
executive
one of the whole.
director.
Yeah, well, he's the executive director. They were a whole sponsor, so he was out there and was once again talking about the rip roaring golf of the 80s that he used to play. And so
Michael Severe hobnobbing with people. Imagine.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
Yeah,
it's hard to believe. But no, he was out there, and like I said, we appreciate it. It was a great event and went off with a ton of success, and will be brought back strong in 2027. So we look forward to the lead up for all of that. We look forward to today's show. Of course, Mike Sautter is in, so a little bit later, probably 8 a.m. I've got a handful of questions for him. He has engaged, as he does every August, in a whirlwind tour that has taken him likely multiple places throughout the state, certainly throughout the metro, as he embarks to learn more and more about the high school football that will be played this fall. And we'll get into the deeper discussion, but I gotta admit, I'm pretty intrigued. Like there's definitely a lot of star power this year with Trey Taylor and Tay Ellis coming into Millard South, but you already had Braylon Warren, who by all accounts had one of the best summers of really any quarterback in the country.
It's a pretty good summer.
With the Elite 11, and he got his 4-star from I think all the services. And from talking to people at 24/7 that were watching him at the Elite 11, he quickly became a favorite of people there because of how clean everything was. And generally, this, especially with Steve Warren as his dad, former Husker, former Packer. That guy has a ton of polish and a ton of, he's savvy. He's good with with media stuff, but he's also just genuinely pretty good person to deal with, and everything I've ever heard about him is nothing but positive.
He's a genuine dude. You're not gonna get, what you're gonna get. He's a great human being, and as I like to say, great human beings are always,
that's the highest praise from Mike Sautter.
Yeah, make you pretty good.
There's your athletic accomplishments, but then there's whether he considers you a great human being.
I've
done enough stuff with you that I know, when you like someone, that's the phrase that you use.
Just be a good human.
It'll go a long way.
Them.
And so West Side, I'm really interested in what it looks like for them this year. Then, of course, Millard North has some talent, and then I want to know about some of the other teams that are always sort of lurking around the surface there in Class A. And then I want to know what's going on outside of the Metro and everything else. And so we'll dive into a lot of high school football talk around 8 a.m. today. Before we get there, coming up in probably about 15 minutes or so, we are going to discuss, I don't know if you saw this, Nebraska named their starting quarterback.
Wow.
Whoa.
I know it caught a lot of people by surprise, but we are going to have to get down to the bottom of how Anthony Calandria ended up as Nebraska's starting quarterback.
It's just an amazing rise.
If you would have told someone January 1st and Anthony Calandria would have been named the starting quarterback in the middle of August, they'd have been like, who the hell is that?
Well, yeah.
What about this Kenny Minchie guy that the internet tells me about? All of these things. So we'll kind of walk the trail of how Anthony Calandria ended up as Nebraska's quarterback and continue a summer-long conversation on the guy that I think is the most interesting of any of Nebraska's transfer additions, and certainly I think probably the most interesting team on the roster, because if he's good right away, the ceiling for Nebraska raises even with as hard as that schedule is. So we'll talk some Anthony Calandria today. Of course, we have Man of the Weekend. I think you've sat in on Mondays before. You're familiar with this concept, Mike, but if not, you got about 30 minutes here to think about who you would award a Man of the Weekend or a woman, or sometimes it hasn't even been a literal person. We have given them to, I think, athletic departments when they did the cow out or whatever at Utah State was one that Joey awarded at some point in time. Happer has given them to I want to say computer systems or something in the past. We've had some different ones, so don't feel like you're locked into any one thing or another. But I got some ideas. We'll get to Man of the Weekend here at the bottom of the hour. We are going to have some more Nebraska football conversations. We're going to look ahead. We'll have some fun with this. This is the akin to when we would do the bracket sim of the day, or when we would look at the NCAA tournament with bracketology. There's already bowl projections out. So I want to take a look at where they have Nebraska, but I also want to look at who the college football playoff teams that are being predicted by some of these entities. So we'll discuss that. It was a big weekend in college athletics, particularly if you are a fan of the LSU Tigers, who have made themselves the epicenter of all things that suck in the offseason. And so we might dive into what's happening down there at LSU, which it seems like they really want to take the mantle from Texas Tech as the unlikable program in college athletics, with both of their coaches really working the waiver wire of semi-professional to professional athletes in terms of filling out their rosters. So we'll get you caught up on that in the probably in the 7:00 hour. Now we have free balling that'll come later in the show. We have Balls of Steel. Happer informed me that he has the Brett Ciancia Pick Six Previews magazine. So we will have to use Phil Steele today for our preview. But Joey, I'm assuming you can come up with another couple of teams.
Yes, I can
before we get there. And then we have our Monday guest. Tim Verghese joins us at 8:30. He was just down in Georgia over the weekend where he saw a handful of Nebraska commits play. And of course, he'll have thoughts along with Mike about high school football season opened last Friday. I don't know how many games there
was 5 last week.
Yeah, so there's 5 games last week, but really the week one, the big opening week is upon us. And so we'll get thoughts from Tim. We'll get thoughts from Mike on that. And then Michael Brunch joins us at 9:15 today as well. So that is that's our lineup. That is our show that we have for you. And we want you to join us. So whether you hit us up on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, 402-951-1620, or you can always tweet at Hap and Schaefer at the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed, and we will see it there. You can text into the show too, 402-951-1620. 1620, and we will find you there. Or, however, send a carrier pigeon. If you're severe and you want to stop in, you got a door. You got one of the door things that lets you in. Feel free to do that. However you want to get on the show, whoever you are.
Severe still has a key card.
Yeah. Well, he does severe reaction.
Oh yeah,
which I believe will be back this fall.
Yes, it will be back this fall.
We'll have that on Sundays. A great way to get caught up on everything that happened with Nebraska from someone who manages to have rewatched the game 3 times between the end of it on Saturday and whenever his show starts, like 8 a.m. Sunday mornings.
Yes.
8 to 10.
Yep,
8 to 10 on Sunday mornings here on 1620 The Zone. You can catch severe reaction following Nebraska football games. And like I said, that guy has the ability to rewatch the football game way faster than everyone that isn't the coaching staff, it seems like.
Yeah, that's a lot. 3 times?
Yeah, I think it's like 2 or 3 times, he told me, when I've had
even a night game.
Even a night game, because I think he somehow watches it on his drive back from Lincoln, which maybe isn't
that's
the
not
best,
safe.
but
yeah,
he gets it in some way somehow. Michael Severe committed to get you information, so Severe Reaction, you can catch that this fall. I want to before we go to break, I want to ask you were I mentioned LSU's the epicenter of all things that we hate about college football in the offseason. You had your own like epicenter at your house this weekend, right? You is it like the first major sleepover that you've experienced as a parent? Walk me through, how was it?
So my daughter's birthday was yesterday.
Okay.
She turned
how old?
10.
10
years old.
You have a double-digit child.
Yeah, I know.
Does that make you feel older when you say that you have a 10-year-old?
I'm pretty old. I'm getting old anyway.
Yeah.
Up here. I'm up there. But
early 50s for Mike Sautter. For those that
no, not quite. Not yet.
I thought that was going to get more of a rise out of you.
Inching closer.
Yeah,
it's
you're
inching closer.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
I think you're 46.
You're really close. You're actually right on the dot.
47?
46. I'll be 47 in November.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So there was, I believe, 10 kids, including my 2 children. So 8 guests.
Okay. Now this is your oldest, right?
My oldest, yeah.
So
I'm
was
10 and 7.
Was her little sister allowed to tag along, or was she kind of like kicked out of the group, excommunicated?
Little sister had a friend over too.
Okay.
To kind of make it, but they all kind of did sort of play together. Okay. Even though
makes it easier.
My daughter, whose birthday party it was, at multiple times wanted her sister to go away and not be around her friends, and her friends actually were the ones that stuck up for the younger sister. It was like, no, she's fine. She's doing good. Oh, yeah.
It describes my entire upbringing.
Yeah. Just
my brother's friends would be over. I would somehow hang out.
Yeah.
He would not want me there, but his friends were humored enough to keep me around.
Yeah, it was, she was fine. But I think it was 7 of them, 6 or 7 of them stayed the night, slept over. And it turned into going outside on Saturday night from like 9:30 to 10:15 playing Ghost in the Graveyard.
I didn't even know kids knew that game.
Tag games, whatever it was, and just yelling and running around people's front yards and stuff. And I'm like, can you guys keep it down? And that was just going to be impossible. So, I think they went to sleep about 12:30.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad for that group of girls. It was all girls. So, it was not bad. It could have been a lot worse. It was very loud at times, just screaming and yelling. And then I did partake in the played hide and seek. And so I just to try and calm things down because it was getting loud.
Sure.
People yelling at each other and stuff like, no, let's do this, and screaming. The hide and seek game, I just kind of went in the basement. I was like, hey, one person talk at a time, and let's figure this out. And then my team was my youngest daughter and her friend.
Okay.
And we actually played 3 games of hide and seek inside and outside the house.
There you go.
And we won 2 out of the 3. So we were the last to be picked.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's kind of fun. It was a good time.
Sunday, big recovery day.
Sunday, no, I think the last person left about 11:30 in the morning.
Okay, wow.
Feels like a long time. Yeah, so did breakfast and stuff. And it was Yeah, I slept in a little bit though. That was
So
on my wife.
overall, though, you would say that it was it did go better than expected.
It went better than expected, but I do not recommend like 6, 7 kids in a sleepover.
Dropping a 6, 7 on us.
Well, I didn't mean to do that.
Nobody ever does.
Yeah.
Nobody ever does.
So I wouldn't recommend for people to have that many kids sleeping over your house, but it was fine. It's a good group and good group of friends that she has that they're pretty respectful. And now I will tell you, cleaning it up was a lot because we gave them like bags of like little candy things as a gift. So it was like candy little bag of popcorn and different things. The basement floor after they all left.
Look at that, an epicenter. It was like a tornado went through.
Oh yeah, picking all that up was a lot.
Yeah. No, one thing I have learned, like I like hosting stuff. The anxiety that I have of getting through it, everything going well, and then the annoyance after the end of cleaning up. And and this is with adults, so I can't even imagine with
it was an all day like cleanup yesterday, like basically the whole day.
Yeah. Well, as long as your daughter enjoyed her 10th birthday, that's what.
Yeah, she did. She had fun.
All right, that's good. That is good. All right, we're gonna take a time out here. When we come back, we'll dive into Nebraska's starting quarterback. Believe it or not, they're going with Anthony Calandria, the guy that they took out of the transfer portal. We'll talk about how Nebraska ended up with him, what it means, all that more here on Happer and Schaefer. Welcome back here on Happer and Schaefer. Mike Schaefer here, Mike Sautter sitting in, and let me tell you about this week's Zone Half Off deal. It's with our good friends, to use some Connor Happer terminology, out there at Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard, which is pretty soon going to be the #1 tourism destination in the States. Probably passes up Memorial Stadium at this point with how many people are parked up there on the side hill that you can see off of I-80. Located in Gretna, opens daily, 9 a.m., 9 p.m. Open September 4th to November 1st. Get 2 anytime passes for the price of 1. A $92 value for just $46. 50 attractions are in, over 50 attractions are included. Aunt Kelsey's Apple Swing, Freya's Egg Spinner, a junior coaster, zip line, train rides, and more. Wednesday deal available Friday at 9 a.m. Weekend deal available Friday at 3 p.m. Details on our website, of course, 1620thezone.com. Also enter online at 1620thezone.com for a chance to win a pair of season passes. Now, you are over in that neck of the woods. Have your daughters tried to drag you there? Have you done the Valads experience? Do you have season passes?
No, they go, I believe, about once a year.
Okay. Do they go for school too? It's a big thing for schools to go.
They haven't gone. They haven't gone for a field trip or anything, but they do go. I think last year my oldest went with a friend or something.
Okay. So you aren't always having.
You notice how I said they go.
Yeah. Well, it's football season and you're a busy man. So when are you?
I got stuff to do. Like I am out.
So I went last year, which was the first time since 2018, because my now wife and I went on a date at Vala's, one of the early dates that we had.
That's cute.
Yeah, thank you. And then before that, it would have been in the early 2000s. Let me tell you, Vala's in the last 20 years or so, probably closer to the or so, has changed so significantly. Like I remember going in scouts in the late 90s, early 2000s, and just wildly different now. And then going with he would have been like 1.5 last year. So you could barely do anything, but he still loved it. There is so much family stuff at that place.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
It's gotten a lot. I mean, it hasn't gotten bigger, but it feels like it's gotten bigger, right?
Yeah, it does.
I do like.
It absolutely does.
Do they still have the barn thing where you can go in there and you just throw the Nerf balls at people?
I don't know about that. They have like a sports pavilion that my son was obsessed with. He wanted to throw footballs and kick soccer balls and shoot basketball. So that's all he wanted to do, really. That can go down slides. Those were the only things that really kept his interest. Fun. So, which honestly, if we take him again this year, which undoubtedly we will, he will only be interested in the sports pavilion and slides. Those are the greatest interest in his life.
Well, you can get
throwing or kicking things and then going down slides.
You can get a big turkey leg though.
Okay.
Walk around and eat that.
The food there is very good. I got a bucket of cookies last year. Wow. Like a literal bucket of cookies.
And they didn't make it home?
Oh, no, they made it home. There's too many cookies even for me to for me to eat on what's like a 40-minute drive from my house to where Vala's is. There's no way I could have eaten all of those cookies, but they're very good. So let me just tell you, if someone tells you they get a bucket of cookies from Vala's, they're eating good. I'm telling you that much.
The last time I've been there was a few years ago.
Joey, did you ever get out there? Do you frequent Vala's?
I haven't gone over there in over a decade.
Yeah,
that
did
was
you go for school
safe.
At some point in time?
I believe I did.
Okay.
I remember, and I think he still does it. I have a middle school teacher who would drive the tractors to the actual pumpkin patch area. Yeah, the pumpkin pickup. I think he still does that. I was wanting to do that a long time ago when I was still in that school phase. But yeah, once I grow older, I just kind of phase out of that stage.
I know people that get weekly will have a group of friends go out there and just do the fire pit. And because you can bring in your own stuff, I believe.
I didn't know that.
And so you can rent the fire pit, and it's just kind of a spot and then they have, certainly to purchase alcohol and everything else that are there. But I know plenty of adults that don't even go with kids that are just there because they love it that much.
Wow.
Which is just wild to me.
Yep. Have a good time.
But if you find Mike Sautter at Vallis this year, you will win a prize.
Yeah,
if not.
Just look for Dan Hurley at Vallis.
Yeah, if you
Exactly.
see me at Vallis, be sure to come say hello because it's going to be a rare occasion.
No doubt.
It's great though. My kids do love it, but just not for me.
Okay. All right. Well,
not for Sautter.
That is the lingo of the show right there. Not for me. Okay. Let's spend a few minutes here. Anthony Calandria named the starting quarterback by Matt Rule. Not a big surprise, really, ever since they transitioned to landing him back in January. It's just sort of been a march to the ultimate announcement that came from Matt Rule over the weekend. So you spent a lot of time covering high school football. You obviously are always aware of what's happening with Nebraska because it's impossible to not be. But what I am kind of interested, like, what are your thoughts on Anthony Calandria from the outside, sort of looking in? Because I know you haven't been at practice, and I don't know how much of the coverage that you've been like really diving into because this time of year, it's not just football. You got all the other high school sports that you're paying attention to too.
It's completely stunning that he was named the starting quarterback. I am absolutely shocked. No, I'm not. But it makes sense. They brought him in to be that guy. I'm intrigued by what the offense will develop into, if you will, because of just his ability to use his legs and move around. Because the previous quarterback, certainly didn't do that. Did, but not enough. So that, I think, just opens up a whole new world of what they are going to be able to do offensively. Does he take chances? Yes. Does he hit on those chances more than he doesn't? Yes. Is he going to turn the ball over at times? Yes. It's going to be fun. He's going to make it fun. Like, he's going to make it fun.
There is an element of this that I hear from people, and they're like, don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but I think it's going to be a lot more interesting. Which, say what you will, Nebraska football found a way to play incredibly boring, somewhat seemed like uninspired at times football last year because of how plodding every drive was. There's going to be a lot more volatility with Anthony Calandria, which can skew really good at times, because of his big play potential.
I think he's got enough receivers now. I think that receiver room is pretty deep, if you will. Well, there's like 2 for sure, 3 for sure, and then the 4s and below that are a little bit kind of, we'll see. Tight end room, obviously, I think is pretty strong at this point. That offensive line is maybe one of the best position groups on the team. So that all of that should make for a little bit more exciting than just, okay, we're going to hand the ball off to Emmett Johnson and let him go make plays, or just hit him on a swing pass and do, find ways to get him the ball, which they did a good job of. And I do believe in Holgorsen and his offense. I think he is a great offensive mind. It just hasn't translated because I'm just not sure he had the people to do what he wanted to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's got an entirely different quarterback. I am certainly someone
is he. So here's something with Holgorsen. Is Calandria like a Case Keenum type, or am I just going with that comp because of their size? Because like they're both
they're both smaller.
Yeah.
I don't know. If we're talking high school Case Keenum, not college Case Keenum, very different, because high school Case Keenum was like a playmaker,
right?
Put up huge numbers, or not. I'm saying high school, college Case Keenum versus pro Case Keenum. Sorry, I confused myself.
Yeah, Case Keenum like ran around a little bit. Like, man, I just remember like the Houston offense. So that's what I'm kind of trying to wrap my head around.
So he didn't play for Holgerson at Houston, but this is a guy, he threw 44 touchdowns. I don't know that Calandria is going to have like Case Keenum in 2009.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this number, Mike?
Nuts.
He threw 700 passes.
That's insane. Yeah.
700 passes, and he still ran the ball.
2009. Wow.
60 times for 158 yards. In 2007, he threw the ball 273 times and ran it 103 times. In 2009, he was a near 70. He was a 70% completion, 5,671 yards. Yeah, I wouldn't.
We're not doing that.
I wouldn't look for that, but I can kind of understand where that comparison comes from, because I think Anthony Calandria can do a little bit of everything. He's going to run a little bit more, certainly from a size perspective. Case Keenum smaller, Anthony Calandria smaller. The guy that I go back to, and they're not physically comparable, but their play style reminds me of each other, is Tommy Armstrong and Anthony Calandria. And so what I mean by that more so is, with Armstrong, every play had the potential to be a touchdown, because he would hunt down the field. You remember the jokes of the YOLO balls and everything else. He could take off at a moment's notice and pick up 25 yards on a scramble. He could, he had his signature spin move to try to avoid sacks. Tommy Armstrong would bring an element of excitement, because you never knew what the hell was going to happen from play to play to play. And more often than not, it was good for Nebraska, and he was an effective leader, and I think guys wanted to play with him. From the sound of things, Mike, with the players that have stood up and spoke this offseason, since he's been there, Calandria has earned their respect. And some of it is he is having transferred already from Virginia to UNLV, and now from UNLV to Nebraska. Like, he's played this game. He's done the gone in, and he knows what it takes to win over a locker room. He knows what it takes to transition to a different program, the expectations and everything else. He was a Mountain West Player of the Year. So there's a lot to kind of like about that picture, in terms of a guy who's experienced with, hey, I've got to come in and this is what I have to do, and everything else.
Yeah, I have to make friends and build relationships and all of those things that you have to do. You're right. From the sound of it, everybody likes him. He seems to have just hit the ground running right away. The two quarterbacks behind him are just, again, like kind of good people, right?
Yeah.
So you like that room. In my opinion, at least you have like the two behind him too, if something happens, because his frame isn't great. Like, what if he's rolling out and gets just smashed? Something happens. You feel pretty decent about those guys coming in, I think. To at least,
you got two guys with Power 4 experience.
Yeah, they're
which
both
not every team in the country can.
Both have played a lot. Their skill sets are different, obviously. But I think that room is like super solid.
Yeah. Have you heard anything about Daniel Kalen since he's returned back to Nebraska?
Not a lot, and which is good. Like, not a lot. He's just kind of, doing his thing. And again, super good person.
I think people tend to forget that he was part of last year's transfer portal class.
Yeah.
Like, we talk all this about Calandria, and then there's a lot of talk about Latif and his maturing. And then, oh, by the way, here's Daniel Kalen, who helped bring a lot of your 2024 recruits to Nebraska to begin with.
And he played a lot last year.
Yeah, he played for Virginia last year and had some success with it.
It was he played due to injury, but like,
you and I know this, his intangibles are off the charts.
Yeah, off the charts. Yeah. Great as a person and human and leader and all of those things.
That all being said, I would like a year in which the quarterback doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I would rather, as much as I am interested in Latif and Kalen, I would rather see Calandria for your 12 regular season, just so you have a year where you can kind of do that.
Stabilize the position.
I know Dylan started every game in 2024. Tanner Lee started every game in 2017. Nebraska did not have a quarterback start every game in that stretch.
That's crazy.
So it's hard to do. It's hard to be a quarterback on the move in the Big Ten with a conference known for large humans that hit hard.
Yeah,
and survive it. So we'll see if Calandria is able to do that.
Next year, they got a guy coming. It was pretty dang good.
You believe in this guy that's over at Millard South that you've probably seen about 7 times already this summer?
No question.
Okay,
he's elite.
Okay. All right. So I can't do this. We got to go to break, and we can't get to it for a little bit. But I have a question for you. It might have to wait till 8 a.m. But I want to know your answer. I want to know your thoughts. We're going to do some comparison with Trey Taylor and some other notable quarterbacks as well. But we're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, man of the weekend next year on Happer and Schaefer.
Now you're a man, man. Now you're a man, man. You are now a man, you're a man. Now you're a man.
Welcome back to Happer and Schaefer here. It is Monday morning, 6:49, and it is time for our man of the weekend. And I had a couple different options here. I'm going to go with a slightly unconventional one that may not be that popular. I don't really care. I think it's kind of a fun thing in a exhibition contest. Of course, I'm going with actress Brenda Song, who made her debut as a NFL preseason color analyst for CBS for the Los Angeles Rams New Orleans Saints game. Brenda Song, who you might know from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, or there's a Netflix show, Running Point, I believe, that she's on. She's also married to Macaulay Culkin. She's in a bunch of random stuff. She's someone that you may not know the name of, but you've probably seen her in something. She is a huge Los Angeles Rams fan, and like a legitimate Los Angeles
London
Rams
and
fan.
John Bishop handshake me.
And so
Wow.
yeah. So people know her as London Tipton, right? Like that was her. I was familiar with the show. I didn't really watch it that closely, but I know that's like the big role that she's had. She's former Disney star.
That show and the spinoffs. Sweet Life on Deck.
But at some point last year, she was doing an interview, I think, for this Netflix show that she's on. And somehow in the interview, she started talking about how bad the Rams were at stopping the run. And it came out that she was like this super fan and actually really cared about football. And so she got invited on to do the third quarter of, I believe, Saturday's broadcast.
Yes.
Between the Saints and the Rams. She got a 100-yard interception.
It was funny.
A handful of other things. She could never do this because way too much of a fan. But it was just kind of a fun way to break up. Like I know Joey was locked in for Packers Broncos, I'm sure, this past weekend. As someone who might catch only snippets of NFL preseason stuff, it was really kind of funny to hear some of the calls.
Well, just her cheering on that pick six was hilarious.
I am in favor of that for preseason games. Like teams should be bringing in their known celebrity fans to have more preseason interaction.
Man, the Packers should bring in Brian Bumgarner for their preseason action.
That would be your choice. That would
be my choice. He's a huge Packers fan.
All right. I can't even think of the name of the actor that's a huge Vikings fan that my wife is in love with. But gosh, what is his name? I'll get there. But I don't know that many like famous Vikings fans, to be honest.
No.
People have they're smartly avoided it. You know any?
There's a lot
celebrity
from
Jets
Minnesota.
fan?
There's a lot actually, because I follow their social media. They're always pregame photoing people. What's the guy? Ray had that show.
Ray Romano.
Ray Romano is one for sure.
Oh, Will Wayne's a Packers fan as well. They'll bring him up in the booth one time. They'll bring
Wayne
him up.
is a Packers fan.
Yes, he's
Lil
a huge
Wayne
Packers fan.
I would watch Lil Wayne being a color analyst.
He became a Packers fan when the Packers were in the Super Bowl against the Patriots in New Orleans. His father went there and attended the game and then brought back Packers gear. That's basically how that happened.
Amazing.
Yeah, just stuck with them.
No, understandable. Josh Duhamel is the actor that I was thinking of as a big Vikings fan. He's from up that way, I think North Dakota. Okay, so Brenda's song for me. Joey, who you got?
I'm gonna say the kickers this week. There was a lot. Yes, Harrison Butker.
Kicker news.
Oh,
Harrison Butker hit a 69-yard field goal.
I did see that.
But I saw that. But more importantly, Trey Smack. How about that man? He nailed 4 kicks in the Packers preseason game 2 at Denver. He's nailed all 7 of his kicks. Whether he's on the right or the left hash, he's been hitting them straight in the middle of the goal post. He's been great. I've been enjoying that, and I'm just hoping it keeps up when the games actually matter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you're setting yourself up to be
failure big time.
I'm gonna be extremely disappointed.
As someone who has been conditioned throughout my my time to never trust a kicker ever.
No, I'm trying to come up with
I'm
trying to come up with nicknames for Trey Smack, Go Smack Go, or the Smack Attack, or I don't know. Jacob Padilla might have some ideas tomorrow.
You'll have to get your Packers hive together.
We'll have to get some ideas.
What they come up with. Who do you got, Mike?
Todd Monken.
Okay.
Because
he's a funny quote.
Rock hard place. Not sure He loves either quarterback
Yeah.
or all three, I guess. I don't know. Gabriel's probably not in that mix. But yeah, tough spot because of the fans don't want Deshaun Watson, I think, feels like. But the money is there and they kept him around,
But
which
he's
was
not
amazing.
good.
It was amazing they kept him on the team. Wouldn't you just eat that contract? I don't know.
Well, you're going to eat the contract either way. The problem
it
is
doesn't
that
matter.
he's so far removed from being even like a
good
D plus quarterback.
So it's Todd Monken for me because I can't understand the pain he's going through in his mind.
He had some terrific quotes.
He's a great quote
about their tight end that they waived so that he could go back.
Yeah,
Lane Kiffin at LSU, and he had some good quotes about basically like
try to call. He was like, Lane Kiffin called me, and he was like, wait.
No, I know.
Now a week later,
I never called him back.
I never called him back. Yeah, no, I know.
So it's Todd Monken's got a tough spot. Tough spot for sure. That's a bad team. That is a bad football team.
They're not as bad as what the Dolphins will be, I think.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, there's one Dolphins fan who feels like they might win
2 games,
5 to 7 games.
7 games
we heard
I
on
think.
Friday.
Yeah.
Really?
Jake Sorensen. But we'll dive into that maybe when we come back here on Happer and Schaefer. Second hour returns. We'll talk some Nebraska football. We'll talk some college football at large next on Happer and Schaefer. Welcome back here on Happer and Schaefer. No Connor Happer today or tomorrow. So that means I, Mike Schaefer, am your leader today, or lead voice, I guess, if you would, here on Happer.
You're the
and Schaefer.
captain now.
The good news is the other voice joining Joey and I, that was Joey Warcola, our terrific producer, is Mike Sautter, who during the break was trying to tell me about the Jets, and you guys will get to hear about that in free balling today.
Can't wait.
In which there is a specific question just for Mike. I will give my thoughts too, because I love giving thoughts, but it is more intended for Mike Sautter to just have an open floor to talk about the Jets. So if you want that, free balling will be coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Here in the 7 o'clock hour today, we're going to talk some Nebraska football from the weekend. They had another scrimmage. There's been some more talk of various players, and so we'll get into a few different things there, and then a little bit later dive into some bowl projections and then talk through what is happening in the state of Louisiana with their courts and with their athletic teams, and how many of them are endeavoring to have as many semi-professional or professional athletes as they can lure back to college. So we'll get into that a little bit later here in the 7 a.m. hour. But I want to start with this about a guy that I know you know well. You covered his high school career. He is maybe the one of the more discussed players. Like if you're going to make a list of players that have been talked about a lot here in August during fall camp, and his name has come up quite a bit, certainly relative to the spring where his name didn't come up at all because he was hurt and out. But a guy who another year in a row is threatening to challenge what was the expected conventional wisdom. And, of course, I'm talking about Gunnar Gatula, who was in the battle for the right tackle spot with Tree Babalade and continues to be someone that is getting talked about, whether it be Jeep Wade, whether it be Matt Rule, whether it be other players on the team. Gunnar Gatula, Mike, is having another nice camp. And this is a guy that I know you covered in high school. You watched him play. You and I were at multiple Lincoln Southeast games because you love Lincoln. And we saw Gunnar Gatula play. And I've said this several times. I think his performance in 2024, when he was asked to step in at left tackle, is one of the more stunning things that I had witnessed, because I just didn't think he could play tackle in college. Like I watched that guy play a lot in high school. I thought he was ticketed to be a guard. I thought he would be a really solid offensive lineman, someone that could be developed over time and then deployed as a junior or senior and just be bigger and stronger, because that's what he was. But I never thought of him, Mike, as a guy who could play left tackle. And then lo and behold, in 2024, when all options are basically just down to him at playing left tackle, he steps in there for Nebraska, and I think he started 7 games, and he played very well. Didn't go as well last year at left tackle, and then eventually gave way to Elijah Pritchett, and he played a little at right tackle, but I think injuries have mounted up.
Yeah.
I don't want to make excuses. I don't think Gunnar would want excuses, but I think last year, once the injuries started early in the season, they were the nagging stuff that then became the more serious stuff, and then became the stuff that had to be cleaned up in the spring. Gunnar Gatula, I think, is going to be a really important person for Nebraska this year, whether he ends up being the starting right tackle or not, because he's going to play. He's clearly, if he's not your starting right tackle, he might be one of your most valuable linemen in the sense that he can move around or allow you to move other people around. I think it's really massively important that this has happened for Nebraska. And I have some faith that Gunnar Gatula is going to be more like 2024 than he is 2025.
I think he's a utility guy for sure.
Yeah.
At a minimum. I think he can play the 4.
You got to have those guys.
He can play the 4 positions.
Yep.
Center, maybe. But
I don't think he's ever played center.
No.
The other thing about him, and you know this again, like I sometimes feel like we say the same things about a lot of the in-state guys and all of it, but in this case, legitimately a coach's son,
right?
A guy who's been around offensive line play and trained for offensive line play for a long time. If he had to play center, I think
he could figure it out.
Yeah. Like I don't think it'd be a question of the intelligence or the physical ability to do it.
You're right. The left tackle thing was when he was playing left tackle, I was like, whoa, like I didn't see that at all. I thought he was a guard.
I thought he was a good.
No, he did
he was
fine.
a good Nebraska high school football player that was good enough to be a Power 4
Right.
player. And once Nebraska was involved, that's always where he was going to go.
Yeah.
There was no other question.
No. Yeah.
But at no point did I ever think he could play left tackle.
No,
In college. And he played it well enough that now I have no question that if you had to throw him in the pinch, he could do it. Is he the guy I want over Elijah Pritchett? No, he's not. One of those potentially, in a pie in the sky world, a day 1 draft pick in the NFL, more likely probably day 2, rounds 2 and 3. And the other guy in Gatula, I don't, we'll see. But I was super impressed by what he did in 24, 25. I'm giving him a bit of a mulligan. I'm excited
he's pretty
see
banged
him
up.
Very much.
Yeah.
And it started before the season and then continued throughout the season. And it's just one of those where everything just added on to each other. And
he's healthy now, though.
Yep.
Like I was actually at Southeast on Saturday.
Oh, you got some scoop for us?
No. I'm just saying he's healthy.
Why don't we have scoop for us?
I just talked to his dad. I was like, how's off, the side, and said, how's Gunner doing? And he goes, good. And I'm like, yeah, seems like he's healthy and he's having a good camp. And his dad agreed, and that was it. Moved on. Yep, good. And good to see him healthy and kicking some tail. Like, that's basically what I said. So I do think probably right tackle actually makes a little sense, though, too. I can see that happening. But he's an old, mature, strong. I mean, obviously big, strong, physical guy. So he's a positive. And
he brings, he's got 16 career starts. So he brings experience.
Super
experience. That's the other thing here.
Yeah.
It's not like you're talking about a guy who hasn't played football.
Right.
You're talking about someone who has been a left tackle. He's played some right tackle. He can play guard in a pinch. And he's physically capable of doing it. And mentally, he's been through the grind a little bit.
Yeah.
Rule said this on Saturday. I think we all feel like no matter what, at any position, Gunner is one of the best 5 for us. And so that just tells you he's had a great camp.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's lip service. I don't think they'd be talking about this if he hadn't made things a little bit more difficult. And Tree Babalade's been banged up a little bit. And so, again, whether he's going to be the guy at right tackle or whether he's going to be a utility player, I think Gunner Gatula's value for Nebraska in 2026 is a lot higher than people might have predicted.
Really,
in the spring.
Yeah, I think it's really high. Especially if you look back in January, you're like, hey, Gunner Gatula is going to be like a huge piece to this offensive line and all that. People would have been like, who, what? Like, they probably would have been a little shocked. Maybe not January, probably more February. But now thinking through it more, you're like, yeah, he's mature, old, experienced, strong, works really hard, tough kid. Obviously a tough kid, like playing through everything he did last year. But there's if he rolled out there and was the starter, or when the depth chart comes out, like next week, 2 weeks, you don't blink at that. You're like, oh no, what's happening? No, you don't. I wouldn't. I would be like, oh yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah,
that
makes
sense.
The good news is, whether it's because he's banged up or he got beat out, or you still have a guy in Babalade who has
they can
experience.
be there too. Yeah.
And as you know, and as anybody who's watched football at any level knows, it's really hard to keep all 5 offensive linemen healthy throughout a year. And so you're probably going to need Babalade. You're probably going to need Gibson Pyle and Tyler Knack. And you're gonna have to, that's why Jeep Wade last week was talking about, hey, it's not just a starting 5. We're looking for 8. We're looking for 8 linemen because you're going to have to swap in and swap out. And so when you got a guy that is as versatile as Gatula could be, and if something happens to your best lineman and Justin Evans, Brendan Black can slide over and play center, and then boom, Gatula can play left guard, and Babalade can be right tackle, and you've still got double-digit starting experience across the board.
Yeah, and if something happens to 2 of them, then you have there's a lot of depth on that guys are ready. Like I put Sam Sledge in that. He's ready. He's just behind someone that's pretty dang good. So like and could Sledge play guard? Yeah, could probably if you needed him to, right? So like you just there's so much depth there now. I think Jeep Wade's done a pretty dang good job. Like the level of offensive line coaching has increased insurmountably.
That's what we're hearing. That is certainly what we're hearing. I think people are very much if Calandria is the most exciting thing that's probably awaiting you for when Nebraska plays Ohio to finally get eyes on, okay, we've heard people talk about that he's volatile. We heard that he can run with and scramble, and he's got big play potential, and so we want to see that. The other thing I think everybody wants to see is just, what is the difference with Jeep Wade and Lonnie Teasley versus Donovan Raiola? We've heard a lot about this offensive line. Let's see what it actually looks like. Now, I would caution people. I don't know that Ohio, Bowling Green, and North Dakota are going to be even Michigan State and Maryland. Like and then they got 3 defensive lines in Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon that are among the best in the country.
Yeah.
So you're getting it from all sides, but I do think you're going to see. I agree with you in the sense that everything I have heard from both the people that are close to it because they're in the program, and also people that are close to it because they're outside of the program but have had good eyes and ears on stuff. It all sounds really good. And Jeep Wade sounds really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like he was engineered specifically for the people of Nebraska because of how he talks and then what he's saying, and he's able to cut to what it is that people want. But I too am really intrigued by this offensive line, and they've got a lot of guys that I think, like Justin Evans and Pritchett, I expect to be NFL.
Yeah, they're NFL.
I expect them to be combine invites and NFL draft picks.
Yeah.
To say, and I don't know about Mabenga and Black. I don't know them well enough, but those were 2 big recruiting wins by rankings and by the coaches themselves with what they explained. We'll see with Tree Babalade and everything else, but there's a world where you're talking about, 3-4 guys that could be playing in the NFL, which that's what you want with your offensive line.
Well, that's what Jeep Wade has done. Jeep Wade also just like looking at him and his name, you're like, that's an offensive line coach. He's like the stereotype.
Gideon Wade. And it's not Jeep. He doesn't go by the nickname, and he's Gideon. Would you feel as good about this?
No.
The name Gideon doesn't inspire confidence for you?
Not as often.
There could be some Gideons listening right now. Hey, look, if your name is Gideon, hit up the show. Let Mike Sautter know that you could coach the offensive line just as well as a guy named Jeep.
I just think that, Jeep sounds more like and then the buzz cut thing. Like, it's just all. It all just kind of.
The buzz cut does that.
Yeah.
Like when I've seen pictures of him out recruiting and everything, and the polo, and he looks like a Nebraska offensive line coach.
Oh yeah,
should look.
And
so I do appreciate that.
And it's awesome. Like he's done it. By all accounts, he's done great. We'll see what happens. So.
Yeah,
I'm also intrigued by the defense and see what that looks like.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's there's no question. Like I said, if you made a list, there's no shortage of things to be excited about with this game against Ohio here in less than 2 weeks.
You just want to see it. Like, what is it look? What's it gonna? Is there going to be a difference? What's that all going to look like? How's it all going to come together? Shoot, who's going to be the running back?
Are you more excited for when the offense hits the field with the new look offensive line and Anthony Calandria and whoever is taking snaps at running back, or this defense from Rob Arch and seeing, are they going to be more aggressive? What does it look like? Obviously, Nebraska beat the snot out of Akron and Houston Christian with a defense that ended up resulting in John Butler being fired and everyone wanting to ban it from their memories of how last season ended. So the non-conference is not necessarily going to tell you anything in that regard, but I am really intrigued by this defense too.
And creating turnovers is something that needs to happen. Right? Like they need more of that. They didn't do that.
I will say, if you're looking for something from the weekend that's kind of like that tells me a lot without actually saying it out loud. But Matt Rule had a comment about sacks, and Nebraska has a goal. I think they want to get more than 30 sacks, I believe, this season, which would be about 2.5 a game on a 12 game schedule. But he had a quote. He's we obviously want sacks, right? But the true measure is how many times you pressure a quarterback and get him off his rhythm and off his spot. And I agree. I mean, that's pressure. That was always one of those big Randy Gregory things. Like, people thought he really underperformed his second season, but he had like even more pressures in his first season. He just had less sacks. And so pressure is a big part of this. I will say, I am not expecting Nebraska to go from a team that could barely get sacks to all of a sudden getting 35 in a season.
But just get to the quarterback a little
Yeah,
bit. Like,
I just want to see someone in the frame. Like I want to see the quarterback and someone who's not actively being blocked in the same frame when he releases.
You want to see the quarterback actually have to move around.
That would be
a little bit.
If you're like, hey, you know, maybe he didn't get the sack, but the quarterback had to throw off platform or couldn't just climb the pocket and throw exactly how he wanted.
Right.
That would be a step.
One of
right
those
direction.
things would be great.
You know, that would be, not saying that it leads to better overall defensive play, but it would be certainly a step in the right direction. If the quarterback had to sweat.
They have enough defensive backs that are, I think, talented enough. But man, they were put in some tough spots last year.
Yeah.
Like you can't play defense on the back end for like 5 seconds. It's hard.
No, it's you gotta have that. You gotta have that. But I just from the way that it was said, from Roy Manning kind of downplaying the words, I am not expecting Nebraska to unleash the dogs of hell, if you would, on quarterbacks.
No,
we'll see.
But I still also think
it'll be better than last year. It's just going to be a degree of how much better. And then, you know, does that put you in really tough spots against Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana?
Probably, yeah.
You know, so that's always where everything kind of comes back to. And so I do have some questions still on that coming out of the weekend. They had another scrimmage, some other housekeeping stuff to acknowledge. We'll be getting single digits and captains soon. When I saw this, it made me go back to Kurt Signetti during Big Ten Media Days. He was being interviewed by Jerry DiNardo and Jake Butt, and I think it was Dave Revson, and was asked about captains, if he lets his team select captains. And he absolutely mocked the question, just like, absolutely not. Like, I know who the players are that need to be the captains. Yeah. I'm making the call on that. I can't remember if Matt Rule lets them vote, or I think last year he was the one determining the captain. Similar
I think
to
initially they voted.
I think it kind of cuts down, and then the coaches choose from there.
Right.
I mean, that's the other thing. Like, they might vote, but the coaches might also.
At the end of the day,
the coaches might have a heavier hand with the voting.
I think that's probably fair.
With some of it. So that'll be coming out.
Who gets them? What do you think? What's your prediction?
I think Justin Evans will be a captain.
Oh, yeah.
I think usually you have one lineman, one skill position offensive player. Usually your quarterback is a captain by default.
Yeah.
And then one or two defensive players, or one defensive player. And there's only 5.
Who's the skill guy going to be?
That's where I'm kind of fascinated. So Ja'Cory Barney is as big of a cheerleader, and you know, that guy's really well liked by his team and really cares and puts everything into it. It wouldn't surprise me if he could end up with that. I'm gonna go a little bit off the wall. Like, it wouldn't shock me if a Janiron Bonner or a Luke Lindenmeyer.
I was gonna say Luke Lindenmeyer.
You know, one of your captain options, and it comes from there. You don't necessarily have a receiver or running back. So let's say
I was going to say Lindenmeyer.
Yeah, Calandria, Lindenmeyer, Evans. So we'll say those 3. And I'll take 2 on defense. Andrew Marshall, because at Big Ten Media Days. And then I wonder,
old and mature.
Wonder if, you know, similar to Calandria, like Owen Chambliss is sort of your guy.
Yeah.
And he's your quarterback of your defense and
all
of that.
Have to be that.
So I kind of think it'd be Chambliss, maybe.
Yeah.
So those would be your 5. That's my guess at this
point. That would be
in time.
I like the Chambliss ones probably. That's him and Marshall are on the defensive side are probably that probably has to be it, I would think.
That's sort of who comes to mind. I don't know, you know.
From an age standpoint too.
Also, you need guys that are I think it's really hard to have a captain who's not like one of your better players.
Right. It's tough.
You know, so and like, I'm sure Riley Van Poppel's a leader in that defensive line room. He was a single digit.
See that
he probably hasn't performed up to the level of you know, where a Chambliss has or something like that. But he's a guy that might be a little bit deeper down the board. Cam Lenhart, certainly someone to keep an eye on as well. I think his intangibles are off the charts as well. Just from what I know about when he was a recruit and when he first got here and everything else. So that one wouldn't surprise me either. So those would be my guesses for that, but that's coming up. So single digits. I don't understand what this is. You know, Matt Rule's done this for a couple of years, and I don't know if it's highlighting the best players on your team, but then you have sometimes where guys have these single digits and they're not even starters. I don't really get this. And I'm going to go so far to say that I also don't care for it.
Oh,
which is weird.
I think it's unique and kind of neat.
Well, it is unique. I'll give it that. And I'm not like opposed to
I
it.
disagree.
I don't understand what its purpose is, I suppose.
Okay. So I was at a high school football practice last week, and they had orange jerseys on. I was at Bennington, and only like 3 kids.
Is that because they don't have enough jerseys for the 175 people that are out?
I think it's 140.
They have 140
9 through 12
people out.
9 through 12.
Did they move up?
Yeah,
they're in A for the first time.
Mm-hmm. That'd be just fine.
They have 140 people out.
9 through 12.
How many teams in Class A could you add together to get to 140? Because I can. There's probably
the
a couple
teams that aren't winning at all are up there. Yeah,
but that's 140 people.
Freshmen. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So to the story.
Sorry.
So they're wearing orange jerseys, and I'm like, okay, what is the orange jersey thing? Like, why are these three only these three? Because it wasn't like a physical, like no contact jersey. It was like no, and it is the coaches vote every week on who gets the orange jersey and who's living up to their standards and their things that they want to stand for and be by and all of that. So I think that's the single digit thing. I don't think it's like they're our best player. Now, hopefully your best player is doing
are also the one setting standards.
Yeah, setting the standard or living by the culture, the things that you want to have happen and do and all of that. So I think that's the single digit thing, which I like. I think it actually is cool, like a nice little reward for someone.
Yeah.
Someone that like has checked all the boxes that they want you to check in the off season, whether it be, oh, you have to go to so many other, sports games or whatever it may be. So like they do all of those those things. So I think that's what it probably is more for.
Isn't that sort of also what the black shirts are? I guess the single black shirt can be offense too.
Black shirt is like defense.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's kind of the same sort of idea. Like you have to earn your black shirt.
Yeah,
you get to wear this at practice because it signifies that you earned it. And you hold the standard or what have you.
Which of those should be coming out soon too.
Yeah, I never know with that. That's been one of those things that's always been funny to me.
Can we just go back to the old days
of just you hand it out?
Just and we like here's our
yeah. No,
why is it like made a
Mike,
thing?
The first year I ever covered Nebraska football was 2009, and Bo refused to hand them out.
Yeah,
and then he finally handed them out.
Yeah,
in 2009, if you remember, they were pretty good defensively, but Bo didn't feel like they had earned it. And then he finally gives it out, and it becomes this whole thing, and he does it right before the Texas Tech game.
Right.
And they have their worst game of the year.
Yeah. So don't do that, though.
Right.
Like, just hand
them out.
Like it's always been done. Just hand them out. Just give them out.
How do you feel if there's a 12th black shirt?
That's too much. I think it should be
just
11.
Okay. But they're situational, guys.
I think
important.
Should be 11. Don't you have your 11 like starter guys on defense?
Yeah, but you have your base, and then you have
your true nickel,
your different
all that
packages.
Dime,
so you're going to say Donovan Jones doesn't deserve a black shirt? Are you anti Donovan
Jones?
No. What are you doing?
Don't put that on me. Is it no? Like here comes a text from his dad. No,
his dad. I would hope everybody's coming after you. That guy's great.
I do. Okay, I understand that piece, but I do think it should just be 11.
Okay. All right.
I feel strongly that it should just be 11.
Well, at least with single digits, you're limited. You have 0
because you only
9.
have 9. But again, you
10,
probably shouldn't be giving out 9.
They will. They'll do.
I feel like 9's a lot.
But then you also have.
I think it should be like 3, 4, 5, something in that.
0 through 9, and then they can do it on both sides of the ball.
That's a lot.
So you could have 18 single digits.
You have that many people that are.
In theory.
That would be pretty dang good.
I don't think it'll be that many.
No.
It'll be for like 12 would be my guess.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That'll be coming this week, I'm sure. And we will dive into that more here on Happer and Schaefer when that does happen. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit. We're gonna get over our skis a little bit because I love doing this because people get mad. They'll text in. They'll call in. They'll send emails or tweet at you or whatever else. And why are you talking about bowl projections? They're not even going to win 6 games, blah, 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 blah. But we are going to talk some bowl projections, not just because of Nebraska, though. There are some hilarious matchups being predicted here. And I want to see which of these 3 you like the most. And then I want to go over who some of the playoff teams are that are being projected here. And then if we have a little time, we can talk about our good friends down in Louisiana and what the hell they're doing in their court system and everything else. As anyone that's ever played professional sports is eligible to go to school and play football or basketball for Louisiana State University. All that more here when Happer and Schaefer returns. Welcome back here on Happer and Schaefer. Mike Schaefer sitting here. Connor Happer sitting at home. He's gone for the next couple days, enjoying some time off.
Big smile.
He's got a big smile on his face. I know that.
He was at the Royals game the other day.
Yeah, he was. He was there yesterday.
He might still be in Kansas City, actually.
I don't think he was planning to. I guess I don't know his entire whereabouts. The last I heard from him, and I still haven't responded to the text because I saw it this morning. But he let me know that he has the Pick Six Previews magazine. So when we do Balls of Steel, we'll be going back to Phil Steele, and I will be deciphering that.
Speaking of that, do you want me to list more Power 5 teams, or just go or add?
I want you to pick whatever teams you're interested in hearing.
So
this
even,
is a full,
even group of 5 teams.
This is whatever Joey wants.
Okay.
So it's if there's a group of 5 team that you want to, and you've got 2 more days of this at least. So unless Severe has teams that he wants to hear.
Yeah, I'll leave it to Severe tomorrow, but he doesn't have an access to the list, so I could probably go over with him. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out. But you get to make those picks today for that. That'll be.
I'm excited.
The end of the 8 o'clock hour. We will bust that out. But that's all I know regarding Happer. So I know he was down in Kansas City. I think the Royals won.
Yeah,
I think they're.
Don't ask me that.
Winning.
Question.
I think they've been playing some winning baseball, which is unusual for Kansas City. Let's see if I was right on this. Yeah, they won yesterday. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. They're one of the hottest baseball teams out there, and they're still a long way from the wild card. So I don't think they're a threat. I don't think they're a threat for that, but they have won their last 8 games. And so Connor was there to see it on Sunday. But since Connor's not there, Mike Sautter, who some people wondered if he is a GLP version of Connor Happer, which made me laugh very hard when I saw that in the stream today.
I would have to have different hair color.
Well, I mean, you have the same dome at least, and then maybe like when you get skinny, the redness comes out of it. This is why I have such a red beard. If I got skinny, maybe it becomes white.
I think, talk him into finally shaving his head.
Happer?
I thought he did that once. He definitely brought it down.
Well, yeah, no. Happer has a shaved head.
No, I mean
no, I think that's what he does.
Vicky. Yeah, but he didn't before.
Oh, before it was just like
kind of just he kept it tight, and I'm like, just shave it, man.
Okay, I didn't know that you were the guy.
I talked to him about it on multiple occasions.
Okay, I have a random question. So, I've only really ever known you of a white beard for the most part.
White
or gray, white, whatever. I mean,
salt and peppery
with the color
ish.
So did you have black hair? Like, what was your hair color? I've never known you to have hair.
Brownish black hair.
When you were dropped in my life because you were running the 7-on-7 tournaments and everything else, and that's when I first met you. I think even at that point you were you had a smooth head.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now it's shaved.
I think the beard is a relatively in the last couple years thing. Mostly you were pretty clean shaven. Time, weren't you?
Yeah, I would say 2000 and maybe 16, 17. I kind of started the beard thing. I always had some scruff.
So did you have jet black and then it?
Not jet black. It was more brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which was, great. And once it started receding back, I just kind of took it off. So
looks good. It's been your look for your while, and now you're known as GLP Happer.
Yeah. This there you go.
Oh,
2009.
Okay, look at those glasses.
Yeah.
All right.
2009. That's my
back in your
full head of hair.
Back in your DJ days, or is that
was
your
my
wedding?
That was my wedding. Yes, I had no beard and hair. Yeah. So that was 2009.
All right. Well, we are going to transition from that to some bowl projections here. So I don't have a witty transition retort for us as I look at another photo of my that's
dark beard.
Looks pretty normal.
That was 9 years ago.
So on Friday in free balling, we had mentioned Nebraska, Florida State in the Mayo Bowl.
I love it
in Charlotte. Joe's very
Brad from Charlotte. Where
Brad Crawford from South Carolina was the one who made that prediction for CBS Sports. So ESPN put out there. So we'll do the Nebraska part of this, and I want to get into who some of the playoff teams are that are being projected here. ESPN, Mark Schlabach, and is it Kurt Bonaragra? I should know these names, and I do not have it correctly for you here. But they made their predictions for ESPN, and Schlabach has Nebraska against UCF.
Wow.
In the Cactus Bowl, which I believe is like the day after Christmas, which is down in Tempe, Arizona.
So someone could just
also the off-season home of one Scott
That's what I was going to
Frost.
say. Someone could just stay home.
This is either the most epic troll prediction or he wandered into something hilarious here.
I feel like he did it on purpose.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to do this.
That would be
Nebraska fans are
incredible.
gonna notice. Okay, so your choices right now are that Nebraska, UCF, Cactus Bowl, Tempe, Arizona. I believe, again, I think that's December 26th. I don't have the bowl schedule. It doesn't have the exact dates. They don't give you the dates, but they tell you which family of
bowl?
Network it is on ESPN that you can watch that game.
Take a
That game
look.
would be on ABC with a 7:30. I think these are Eastern start times.
Cactus Bowl would be the 26th.
Yep,
20
Saturday
Yes.
the 26th.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the late game.
Wow.
Or wait, yeah, 7:30.
The Mayo Bowl, same one, same day. So that would also be it. So the schedule is a little bit different this year.
Yeah, ABC has a triple header on that Saturday.
December 26th, Duke's Mayo Bowl. So you're looking at December 26th for either one of those. Let's
Which is
see
awesome.
what the other one is here. Okay, back to the Las Vegas Bowl and Nebraska versus Oklahoma.
That'd be fun.
So, which of these three games, Oklahoma, who is not a college football playoff team for one of these guys, for Kurt,
Not for him.
not for him,
Yeah,
indeed.
the Las Vegas Bowl is
Kyle.
on
It's
is on
Kyle, not Kurt.
Jeez.
Jeez.
New Year's Eve. That would be a 2:45 kickoff.
Okay, so that's kind of similar to this past year where that was the 30th, I think. It
Yeah.
was
And
for that one.
I'm looking at FB schedules. This is against an SEC team. It's SEC versus either an ACC.
Oh, so they moved into the Las Vegas Bowl territory.
Yeah, they did.
Look at that. That'd be fun. But so would you take UCF Nebraska, Florida State Nebraska, or Oklahoma Nebraska?
Oh, UCF, just for the drama.
It would be incredible. People downplay bowl games.
Incredible.
That would be one way to get Nebraska fans really fired up about it.
People
I
would-
cannot
people would
imagine how
go.
angry Scott Frost would be. I don't think Matt Rule would love it either. I don't know that the
No.
coaches would, because it's such a distraction thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then, of course, if you're Rule, you can't lose that game.
No.
And if you're Scott Frost, you're never going to be more motivated. You're going to try to get
Right.
your. So in essence,
I
it
think
would
a
create
ton of fans would be there.
a ton of
from
drama
Nebraska.
for that.
Yeah.
Ton of drama.
Do
for
you
that.
think if that
And a
game
Saturday night at 7:30, that's I get it's the day after Christmas, but kind of nice
And
Christmas being on a Friday this year.
Phoenix
In
or Tempe,
Tempe,
whatever.
well,
Well,
Same
yeah,
thing.
just
All the
outside
same.
of Phoenix.
But at night game,
Yeah.
people would be.
You'd skip your Christmas. You're like, no Christmas. Christmas is canceled. We're gonna go down to
People
Arizona.
would be fired
It will
up.
be the second biggest thing that ever happened in Tempe, Arizona, with first being the demolition of Florida in the national championship game.
that'll be part of free balling as well. I've got a question in there. There's an article
Wonderful.
from the Athletic that we could have spent half of the show on, but I didn't want to completely derail us. So we'll.
I would say the UCF,
We'll get that.
Oklahoma and Florida State for the history part.
I think Florida State. So I think it's UCF would be one. I think Florida State two. Oklahoma they've done kind of recently.
they played.
I
them
also just
recently,
don't.
yeah.
You grew up in Oklahoma, so
I
you have a
did.
little bit of a different probably view on this than I would. I don't care about Oklahoma, Nebraska football in the way that I am told that I should care about.
You probably.
Because the games that mattered were 2001 and 2000 and the Big 12 championship in 06 and 2010. Otherwise, whenever these teams have played, the games haven't been. 2009 was a huge win for Bo, so
Yeah.
that one's kind of up there. It's not the same as what it was in the 70s and 80s when you're talking about supremacy of the conference.
It's
and the
not,
trip
but
to the
the
Orange Bowl.
nostalgia part is a thing. I
Yeah, but
think.
if you don't have that, like I didn't grow up caring about Oklahoma.
I
Colorado is always that for me, whereas Oklahoma is never.
fair. Growing up in Tulsa, like I did, I still have the 5th grade yearbook, and my
Did you have 5th grade yearbook quotes?
no.
I assume it was Boomer Sooner,
Probably
Hokum or whatever.
my 5th grade yearbook photo, I have a white like mesh jersey thing that red letters in Nebraska on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
In deep enemy territory.
Especially back then.
Is Tulsa more of a Sooners or isn't it a cowboy country a little bit?
Of, I think it's kind of a blend.
It's a blend.
Right? Like I think it was a blend.
I mean, the state as a whole swings heavily to just Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But there's pockets that are like cowboy country.
Very much. Yeah. I think it's probably more of an Oklahoma.
But less than it would be statewide.
Yeah. I think OU versus OSU. OU kind of trumps it. One success. They've had more success. But also, I played elementary football with one Rocky Kalmus on my team. So he was pretty good middle linebacker for Oklahoma back in the day.
Tell me what you think of these matchups as potential playoff matchups. This is on ESPN again. Number 12 Boise State at number 5 Georgia. Number 12 Boise State at number 5 Texas. So those are two of them for them.
Mm-hmm.
Number 11 BYU at number 6 Oregon. Number 11 Texas A&M at number 6 BYU. So both of them have BYU in. Number 10 Ole Miss at number 7 Miami. Number 10 LSU at number 7 Miami. Number 9 Alabama at number 8 Texas Tech. Number 9 Texas Tech at number 8 Indiana.
Do we think Indiana is going to be that good?
I don't know. Indiana, of the teams that are listed here, Indiana's the one that
the most questions.
And BYU, it's interesting. Both of them have BYU in.
Yeah.
And Texas Tech in. So they have 2 teams from the Big 12.
Big 12 teams.
So they don't play in the regular season, if I have that correct. I think they would only meet in the championship game. And then the other teams that these ones would have in: Indiana number 4 for one of them, Oregon number 4 for one of them, Notre Dame number 2 for one of them, Georgia number 2 for one of them, Ohio State number 1 for both of them, and then the other has Texas and Notre Dame. So those are your predicted teams. I just thought it was interesting, BYU for both ESPN predictors.
Yeah, really solidly in there too.
Yeah, number 6 and number 11. So one of them certainly has them in there as a higher seeded team. So I thought that stood out for a little bit. Speaking of things that stand out, we'll see what Joey selected for headlines when we return here on Happer and Schaefer. Hey, welcome back in here. End of the 7 o'clock hour, and that means it is time for Joey Warcola to take over, pick a couple headlines, and for us to decide what we want to learn about here today.
So headline number 1, Darth Vader defends flock cameras at San Diego City Council meeting. Darth Vader at the council meeting.
Yeah, that feels like a very on-the-nose troll, like that Darth Vader would be the one defending flock cameras, which I just learned about this last week or so. They're a very divisive issue. So we'll consider that one. What else do we have?
Headline number 2, humanoids break records at Beijing robot games.
All right, Mike.
Apparently that's a thing.
Do you want Darth Vader or do you want humanoids?
Well, I saw the humanoid thing and one of them blow up after like hitting the wall.
So you kind of want the humanoids?
I would like to know more about the humanoids. I think.
Okay, we're doing
the flock camera thing is like, seems political and stuff. No.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was with it too. Okay. Faceless humanoids exceeded human records and delighted hundreds of spectators at the World Robot Games, naturally an event that I know a lot about, over the weekend in Beijing as China showcased its dominance in the industry. Dozens of humanoids and their human operators descended on Beijing's Olympic speed skating arena Sunday to compete in events from athletics and boxing to football and martial arts. During Saturday's opening ceremony, a Chinese robot broke Jamaican legend Usain Bolt's record for the 100-meter dash, of feet splashed across headlines in Chinese state media. Okay, first of all, you cannot call it a broken record if it's not a real person to do it.
Yeah.
Second of all, I am making an executive decision. We do not need to keep records for robots.
No.
Unnecessary. We don't need a separate wing of the Guinness Book of Records for robots. Only real people get records. And even then, we have too many of them. There are too many records for things that don't matter. Like how many shirts you can take off in under a minute.
That's kind of fun, though.
Is it?
You're here for no fun?
You know me well enough.
Fun is not for Schaefer.
Fun is not for me, especially when it involves records that are questionable.
But there is a video of the robot.
White, I'll continue
smacked
here.
It.
The white and headless humanoid called Tiangong Ultra finished the sprint in 9.39 seconds, according to state broadcaster CCTV, surpassing Bolt's best of 9.58 seconds set in 2009. I really believe state broadcaster CCTV. On Sunday, robot makers scored another win with the same humanoid model, shattering the 400-meter world record by nearly 5 seconds. This story is triggering the hell. I will not lie about that. So how did you just happen to see coverage of this?
Just randomly came across like something, I forget, scrolling something. And the robot literally hits like the pad, takes a couple steps back and just not basically blows up without blood, like broke into two and just like stuff, just sparks flying. Yeah.
If humanoids replace,
which I'm like, that seems expensive.
If humanoids replace people for football, like if we get that far down the rabbit hole, you're out.
Hopefully I'll be in the ground or whatever. My wife
I like to think it'd look like electric football, like with they're just shaking and one guy's just spinning with the football the entire time.
I don't even understand. How'd you tackle them?
Well, they would clearly develop the technology to do that. You wouldn't have to worry about concussions.
They'd break though, I think.
Yeah.
No, snap them in half.
I think I'm out. I think I'm out on humanoids and athletic competitions.
I am too.
There's a spectator who said that she will be able to see more clearly whether machines can surpass humans. Yes, they can.
Yeah.
Machines don't feel. They're designed specifically to surpass humans in many ways.
Yeah.
I don't like any of this. The story did not make me happy or feel good about anything. It only made me angry.
Again, I very much so hope that whatever my wife decides to do with me after when I pass away, whether it's burn me or put me in the ground, I don't care either way. I I hope I'm not around to see
The humanoids.
all of that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with all of that.
I agree.
We do hope that you choose to stick around with us here on Happer and Schaefer as we return for the 8 o'clock hour next. Welcome back here. 8 o'clock hour, almost set to begin here on Happer and Schaefer. Mike Schaefer in, Connor Happer out today and tomorrow. Michael Severe will sit in on Tuesday, but for today and the remainder of the show, we have Mike Sautter in. And because of that, we are going to talk some high school football that gets underway this week. Now, a few games happened over on Friday. What was the most notable result?
Oh, the 11-man game with Standing Bear beating Lincoln Northwest.
Yeah, the two new Lincoln
schools. Yeah, Standing Bear kind of handled Northwest. I think it was
or either of those
42-6.
Now, I have to be careful. I did live there for 17 years, so I feel like I can talk about Lincoln High School football without it coming off as patronizing, even though I'm in Omaha now and live in the shadow of Bennington's 140-man roster. But are either Lincoln Northwest or Standing Bear set to be anything in football? They're Class B, right?
They both moved up to A.
They're both in A this year.
So Standing Bear maybe has a chance to do something there. They play Southwest this week, so that'll be interesting.
So it's always fascinating with the new schools, like when the timing kind of works out, when some of them are going to be good, if they're going to be good. I know of Omaha's new schools. I think Westview is a little bit more set up to be,
fair.
A little bit better than was the other one, Buena
Vista.
Yeah. So and then obviously with some of the other new schools, like when Elkhorn North was introduced, it was only a matter of time before that was going to be a pretty good school and everything.
Also
else.
A Class A school.
Yep, they moved up this year as well. Heck, we can start there. Are those Bennington, Elkhorn North, and the two Lincoln schools the four new Class A schools?
Yes, those are the four.
So who moved down?
I don't think anyone.
So they're how many teams do they have in Class A now?
31, 2,
and that's
30.
They added four new ones.
It's about normal.
Yeah. They've kind of fluctuated anywhere from like 24 and into the 30.
Class B is the one that there's only I think 23, 24.
Yeah, but I would argue that it's the most competitive of the classes.
B?
Yeah. Can be.
Yeah, losing Bennington and Elkhorn North though kind of makes it a little more watered down. Well, this year in particular, Class C1 is pretty competitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe
there isn't like one team that's like, whoa,
Maybe we'll dive into that. Is what's Grand Island Center? Are they C2?
C2 Central Catholic. Yeah. I was there Friday.
We'll probably spend a few minutes or so on.
I was there on Friday. They're pretty dang good.
Owen Price and Grand Island Central Catholic for our good friends out there on 97.7. And in the footprint of the zone, we're out west, Mike.
Yeah,
if you're you could talk about Grand Island, you could have listened to it.
Central Nebraska.
Yeah, Central Nebraska.
Yes,
exactly.
It's not Western Nebraska.
We'll dive into that a little bit, but I want to start here as always in the Metro, Class A football. The expectation, especially coming off of last year where they just ran through everybody in every possible way, is that Millard South is set up to do it again. Do you think that they will face more opposition than they did a year ago?
Yes. I don't think they're going to roll through everyone like they did
last year. Was historic in just how, I don't want to say uninteresting, but uncompetitive those games were.
Yeah, you basically were like, am I on the other side of the bracket as them, and what is my path to second place?
Yeah. Which ended up being Papillion La Vista, right?
Papillion South. Yeah,
Papillion La Vista South.
So like that was where that was at. Now my take on Millard Side, I went to their practice. I've seen them, a couple times this summer, if you will. Trey Taylor is awesome. He's really good. Like he's elite. He's amazing. They have off of that Millard South team that played last year,
which had a handful of guys go D1.
Handful. It was like double digits. 24 of the seniors that were on their team last year are playing college football at whatever level right now.
That is amazing. That has to be one of the highest
at whatever level, right?
Right, yeah.
Like 24, 23, 24. That's incredible. So losing all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're
24 is more than a starters on both sides of the ball.
Right. So that's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like, and Amarion Jackson's like on the 2 deep at Penn State as a freshman wide receiver. So like that's a thing.
He's back to playing wide receiver.
Yeah.
Not
Started at
defensive
safety and then they moved into wide receiver and then moved him back and now he's like
You think he ends up at wide receiver? He's already on the 2 deep there.
Maybe, yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, Millard South lost all of that. They're still going to be great. They're just not going to run through everyone. Like it's way more competitive than what it was last year. It's not even close to last year's, Millard South. Now, could they win a state championship? Absolutely. But it just will be a lot more competitive. West Side is another team, very good, going to be awesome. My opinion right now, West Side's the better team. That's my opinion.
Okay.
And I think that obviously West Side has a lot of key pieces back and added pieces too.
Sure.
Which everyone kind of does nowadays. So
The high school transfer portal is a real thing.
Yeah. So, and got 3 really good players actually from Bellevue West. So, Bryce Johnson Jr., the wide receiver, he's committed to North Dakota.
Yep.
And then his brother Tristan Jerez James is going to be like play running back and also safety, committed to Northern Illinois as a safety. And then Micah Santiago, the big lineman.
Oh, he moved over from Bellevue West.
Yeah, he's going to be their nose guard.
He's good.
Yeah, he's going to be their nose guard and probably play some offensive guard a little bit too, maybe. Rotate in on the offensive line.
That's a nice find for you in the middle of your defensive line.
Yeah, pretty good. So
he's a 2028?
8, yes.
Yeah.
28.
He's getting attention from teams.
But the guy, to me, Tay Jenkins.
I was going to say,
like,
when you started talking about West Side in my head, I was like, let's start a countdown for how long it takes for him to say Tay Jenkins.
He is if I was an opposing coach of them, like he's the scariest guy.
I heard Austin Jacobson say on Matt's show on Middays with Matt when he was talking some high school football on Friday, Tay Jenkins might play some corner.
Might play a little bit of corner, maybe like in spots. Now they have Tristan who came over. He's going to be like a running back too with Tay. They're going to find. They are so creative getting the ball in Tay Jenkins' hands, which they should do because if that guy is in space, it could be gone.
Right.
Like every single time he touches it.
Well, and then they have. You mentioned they picked up 3, but didn't Grigsby transfer over?
Yeah,
to them as
Yasir.
well?
Yeah, he's going to be a wide receiver. And
I went to Central's upset win of West Side last year. He was terrific.
Right. So game. he's playing receiver for them. Probably might DB a little bit too.
I was assuming a little defensive.
Yeah. So you have that, and Andrew Taggy's a really athletic dude too in that mix. So they got plenty of talent. Micah Benning will play both sides, both ways a little bit too. But Tay for me is in high school football this year is the guy that is the one that I would fear the most of any player.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he's just a threat basically anytime.
Every single time. Yeah. Outside, like Trey Taylor quarterback. Sure. All that. Like
I know what you mean though.
Yeah, like Tay is the one guy
the
where
quarterback still has to deliver it to somebody. Yeah. Tay Jenkins is a guy who can take it on a handoff, catch it out of the backfield, return kicks.
He's a great kick returner. Great kick returner. Punt returner, not so much. Kick returner, yes. Great. I've seen him run back kicks for touchdowns on multiple occasions. He's the scariest player, I think, in high school football as far as like oh my gosh, like how are we going to stop this guy? We got to have somebody on him all the time because if he gets in space, could be over for you.
Sure.
So West Side's going to be really good again. Could it be those two that make it to the state championship and play each other? Absolutely. But the gap isn't quite as far.
So if you were tiering it, would those be the top 2 teams in your first tier?
I believe so.
Would you have anybody else?
I believe so. Or you have, I believe so. Or you have like a Crane Prep, I think is great, specifically up front. Like their defensive line, offensive line, all of that stuff is fantastic. They are about 8 to 10 deep Aaron
Okay.
Shaw's
Wow.
Aaron Shaw's a name that can play both ways. Jake Brock is is a guy that is a two-way guy, committed to Northwest Missouri State, big, strong, physical guy, plays center, and going to play defensive line. Berto Macias is the heavyweight state champion from last year in Class A. He's back. He's going to be a lineman too for them. So they got a ton of that. I do think that they'll, for prep to have success, they're just gonna have to like play it in phone booth.
Sure. Make those other teams play a style of game that better suits them.
Right. Yeah.
To shorten the game.
And I think they can.
Yeah.
Like
I think
good up front, I think they have the
equalizer.
best. I think they do have the best collection from a depth standpoint of linemen.
Yeah.
It's just a matter about the skill spots. You have Miller North in there too, is in that kind of group. So with the talent they've brought in,
sure.
Torrey Pittman obviously is like
Kylan
that
Haney.
headliner. Kylan Haney looks great.
Heard that from a few different people, and they're like, "Hey,
like physically."
I don't know what his college interest situation is.
The injury thing last year.
I think it's sort of reset where. So I think a lot of people are kind of keeping an eye on what he's
right.
Gonna do
He
fall.
looks
Nebraska
great.
included.
Yeah, he looks great. Physically, like he's in shape. He looks great. So he's really good too. Like Miller North is pretty good. They're back into their defense. Their safeties in particular. Juice Wardlow is committed to South Dakota State. To go with Torrey Pittman as safety, like that's pretty good. And guess what? All four of those teams play each other on Friday.
Yeah. Well, and then
Thursday, Friday.
Week 1, you get Millard North, Millard South, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. This week.
So then
Thursday night is West Side versus Prep, which
and
is
they normally play the first game of the year most years.
No, they kind of move it around. It's been moved around, but it's towards the beginning of the year. They're not ever in the same district. When they did have districts, now they don't in Class A. But so West Side versus Prep, which Prep plays their home games in Omaha Burke, is Thursday night. Also Thursday night is Bennington versus Elkhorn North. So that's a fun one.
Jeez, that's a heck of a Thursday. There's
and
only one of you. Which game are you going to be at?
I don't know yet because of this.
Are you going to have to rock, paper, scissors with Austin?
Game of the week thing is a thing. So where fans vote for me where to go. Both those games are definitely up. And then Millard North, Millard South is Friday night at Buell. And that will be, you might have to get there early to get in. Like, I think that'll be just jam-packed. Particularly because, one, Trey Taylor brings a lot of stuff, and Millard North has brought in new pieces and things. So that game I'm so interested in that game. Oh, my gosh. Like, really interested to see what all that looks like.
I would imagine.
Like, on both sides, because they just have all these new faces. And even Millard South, when I say new faces, I mean guys that played but didn't play. They got in the game in the second half when it was, whatever. But
49 to nothing.
Yeah, so there's experience, but not that kind of experience back for them. So both of those teams really have they're talented. I think they're both pretty good and both in the conversation, right?
Yeah.
So or all four, I guess, of those four first ones. So
there was a question in the stream. Somebody wants to know what you see for Omaha Central, which lost, as we talked about.
Yeah.
They lost Torrey Pittman. They lost Kylan Haney. They lost Yashir Grigsby. They had a team that was really up and down last year, but when they were up, they were able to beat West Side. They were able to, probably a bit of a drop off for Central.
Yeah, I think so. I will say this, though. The Bell kid is elite. He's great. Freshman, he's going to be awesome. Like, really good. Can play safety and receiver for them. He's fantastic.
Okay.
Like as a he's a freshman. And watching him this summer, I was like, whoa, like super great athlete, long, looks the part, all of those things. So he's exciting. He will be exciting to watch. So they got a new quarterback. Obviously BJ Newsom graduated. So quarterback, I think, came over from Burke. So interesting.
Is there a team, maybe they're not like a threat to win the state title, but They're a team that maybe people were sleeping on a little bit.
Barry is
Camden
the name,
Barry.
not Bell. I don't know why I thought about Cam Bell played it.
Oh, so when you said Bell, I was like, I don't know a Bell.
Yeah,
but
no, I'm sorry.
I know the name Camden Barry.
That's my fault. It's Central. He's
People
the
have been talking
freshman
about
there.
Camden Barry for a long time.
He's the freshman there. That's my fault.
Yeah, but they've been talking about him for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's one of those names like I have been hearing for several years. Nebraska football was more or less getting him to come down when he was in 7th and 8th grade. Like that's someone that, I don't know that they've officially offered him.
He has a offer too right now.
Okay. So maybe they already have
Miami, Florida State, something like that.
Okay.
Florida State, I think, is one.
He's maybe the next big in-state.
No, I'm going to look it up. Cam. That's my fault, people. It's definitely Cam. Yeah.
It's Camden Barry.
Yeah.
But when you said Bell, I was like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I messed that up.
You're good. You can redeem yourself with the follow-up to this. Is there, like I said, it doesn't have to be like a state title contender, but there's a team people might be sleeping on in Class A a little bit?
Nebraska has offered Cam Barry.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Rightfully so. Sleeping on Class A. Bennington.
Just because I wondered with Bennington and Elkhorn North, and you have these teams like, again, I'm not expecting them to go win a state title, but similar to a Gretna a few years ago, like they can go mix some things up and make it difficult for people.
Yeah,
Now, Gretna did win a state title, and I don't care what the NSAA said.
I agree with you on that 100%. They definitely won the state title. I was there. I saw it.
That is one of my favorite games.
It was great.
In the last, gosh, I don't even know. Like you think about state championship games, it had all the drama. You had star power. You had stars being stars. And then the follow-up the next year was equally as awesome. I know people won't remember his Nebraska career in the same way, but Tristan Alvano was incredible that following year. Caleb Benning was incredible that following year. Zane was incredible that following year. Like it's just an awesome 2-year run.
You're never going to forget the Tristan Alvano kick, though.
No. And then the year before the goal line stopped, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Again, I don't care what the NSAA tells me. They won a state title.
They did. Yeah.
And it was.
I agree with you that they definitely won that. Bennington, here's why. They returned their quarterback, returned their running back. Ty Bufakeo is their quarterback. Running back Will Goots is good. Solid back, nice. All those things. He'll be fine in Class A. And they have a couple of linemen back, too, that are big and strong and all that. The depth there up front in particular. So if something happens, injury or whatever may happen, is a little bit of a question for Bennington, but I believe in them. I think they're good. Coach Leonard does a fantastic job. So that's the one that I think people aren't talking about enough, if you will. So
we know that there's a big matchups in week 1. Is there another game that you have? Like when is the Millard South West Side game?
Week 9.
You have it memorized? It
might not matter by then. That's week 9.
Well, it could matter.
Could.
Like, what if there's a chance that a loss would cause one of them to be on the same side as the other?
Just like last year.
Yeah. And so then the semifinal is your de facto championship game of sorts?
Like last year.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen. So, but it is week 9. I think there is a possibility where that game is super vanilla and they just kind of don't really do a whole lot because they think they're going to play
who
each
hosts?
other.
Is it West Side or is it
I don't remember that. I don't remember that, but I can definitely look it up real fast.
Who's got your favorite place to watch a game in the Metro?
Oh, that's a great question. I do like Buell when it's like rocking.
Yeah.
Right.
Buell's good. Playoff games at Buell are great.
Yeah. West Side, just because of what they've done with the like lights and the pregame walkout show.
West Side's got a great atmosphere.
Like their video board's big and nice and all that stuff. All of those things that go into it. I just wish the one side, like the bigger side where the fans are, where it was a little bit closer, but like you're not redoing that because it's dug into the hill.
Right.
So, or the stands on the other side was maybe a little bit bigger. So those are probably my,
I would have a soft spot for Gretna.
Well,
and I think
also, Central at night though.
well,
is sweet.
yes. The problem for me is I
Parking?
feel like I haven't been to like a great Central at night, like where Central is both good and competitive, and the team that they're playing is good and competitive. Like I've been to some Central games, but it hasn't been when they've been, rocking.
West Side is at Millard South.
Okay. So it'll be a Buell.
October 23rd.
Yeah, no, Central's good. I was gonna say I enjoy the setup that Gretna has. Like I think that one's a good one out there. It can be really picturesque with how that stadium sits, and you can see kind of the sun going down to the west out there. So I've always enjoyed Gretna as well. Elkhorn's good. It's kind of what it is. Trying to think if there's another one that we're forgetting here.
You know what is?
I always kind of enjoyed when they were rocking and the big games would be there. Bellevue West has a great scene as well.
Yeah. Getting a video board next year.
Oh, they are
next year.
That's kind of where they're a little bit behind some of the other ones.
They need their facilities piece needs a little bit of work. So it still is not. It can be fun and nice, and everyone.
All of it is relative to the teams that you're putting on the field,
right? Like that all matters.
When you're getting the great. When you and I were out there, probably 6 years ago, and it's Millard South, Bellevue West, and Gage Stenger is running around, and it's
fun.
The atmosphere builds itself when you have two great teams.
The most or maybe the most underrated stadium in Omaha, in particular, is Collin Field at Omaha South. It's just neat. It's like in a bowl in the middle of a hill, like everything around it. It's kind of.
I feel so bad. I haven't been there since.
It's also
when Noah Fant was playing. I was there, and I haven't been there since.
It also runs east-west.
Yeah, it does. It's different.
Especially early in the year when the sun's going down here. But it is a neat stadium. So just because it's kind of in that bowl, right?
Yeah.
So
no, I haven't thought about it in a long time. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a lot of reason to see Omaha South playing.
Yeah. Saw Noah Fant there a couple times.
Yeah, that was a reason. Up until it wasn't for Nebraska.
They got a great other football though. Always down there.
Oh yeah, no, that didn't have as many recruiting reasons to be at those games.
Yeah. Well,
which you would normally see in the state championship. You would see Omaha South in that regard.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to go a little, for the people out on the central part of the state that are listening to this, Grand Island Central Catholics can be really, really good.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Owen Price. Your thoughts on him and what you saw when you were out there.
He actually looks like he lost a little weight. He had his appendix taken out like right before fall camp started. Coach was on the record with me on that, and but he looks great. Super mature, just a junior. The Sabaka kid though, like. Looks the part for sure. Tight end, defensive end guy for them. He transferred from Hastings St. Cecilia, committed to North Dakota State. Okay. I think they got a really nice player there. Like they just always kind of do that stuff there. But he caught a bunch of balls, and quarterback Gangwish is Jackson Gangwich. Yes, related to.
Wow.
He's a nice athlete and good player and stuff like that. So out in that part too, I was at Sandy Creek, I guess, Friday as well. And they're going to be really good.
No stranger to success.
Yeah, they won 2 in a row and are the prohibitive favorite to win the third one. Cam Steely's a stud.
Let me ask you about Owen Price real quickly. Is there a comparison you have of former players? Did anybody come to mind for someone that you've seen? Whether it doesn't have to be an out-state player. He plays end.
So on the defense, from a look wise, like just how he looks,
right,
is like he reminds me of like Nick Henrich.
Oh, okay,
just in the face and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was wondering if something like that,
he's more athletic. Like he's pretty athletic though.
Like, does Garrett Nelson come to mind?
I don't know if he's quite that athletic.
Yeah,
from a sure. It's like
kind of hard to explain Garrett Nelson as a high school player because that guy was. Phenomenal wrestler. So his hand to hand.
Garrett Nelson. Yeah. Okay. Garrett Nelson, maybe. Owen Price, I think, is probably more like off the charts athletic.
Sure.
Stuff, 40 and all that stuff. Not quite as thick Garrett, but that's not a bad call
Yeah.
because both just high motor and super mature.
Everything I've heard about Owen Price is it's just like he's on.
Yeah,
He's going.
super mature.
He's a bad man that's going to hit you.
Yeah, super mature, and that. Yeah, Garrett Nelson from
Okay.
Scottsbluff is probably a good thing. But I think Price is more. He's longer and a little leaner, and more athletic from the measurable stuff.
If you're telling me there's any comparison to a Garrett Nelson, then I think Nebraska needs to have him. So
Yeah,
that's more or less how I feel on that. All right, well, maybe we'll have a chance to dive back into some of the high school stuff. I have a couple more questions for you. We're not able to get to, but I do want to take a break so we can get to Tim Verghese when we come back here on Happer and Schaefer. Welcome back to Happer and Schaefer here. 8:32. It is raining a lot harder than I was
Raining and
expecting,
pouring.
outside. And Joey informed me it's first day of classes, so stay dry for those that are having to walk in the rain right now on UNO's campus. Speaking of campuses, Tim Vergeese will be spending plenty of time at Nebraska, both covering football and also molding young minds, as he has got a job working for the university as well. Tim, before your big debut as a teacher, you were down in Atlanta over the weekend. How was getting down there and seeing all of these Nebraska commits that are coming out of the Peach State?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I sent it to some friends more so than just getting the season started. You know, with seeing some Nebraska commits. This has felt like a weird off season, just in general, in terms of the hype for the football season, the excitement, and so catching my first game in Sandy Creek, Georgia, or Tyrone, Georgia, at Sandy Creek High School, seeing that community come together for what was, a big on at least on paper, a big upset, a big national win for them, taking down Loganville Grayson. I think for me at least, got the juices flowing a little bit for the football season. Really, I think for me, getting the season started like that, I was like, all right, we're back. We're in football season for sure.
So what were the big takeaways from the players you're able to watch?
Yeah, so for Grayson, it was 3 Nebraska commits in action. They have 4 Nebraska commits on the team, but linebacker Eli Harris is still coming back from an injury. He does hope to be back soon. You can tell just getting around him a little bit. He's pretty frustrated by his inability to contribute right now. But he was very active, coaching up some younger linebackers, some younger defenders. Was pretty active on the sideline and talking guys up when they got off the field. But getting to see, for me, Mike, you and I have talked about Jordan Agbanoma a good bit, since he committed, even prior to his commitment, about how he feels like, one of these high floor level prospects. He's a true people mover. I mean, the frame's all there, the tape's all there. You like it. And then watching him across the course of a game, his consistency is remarkable, both in as a run blocker and in pass protection. He's got excellent footwork. He's got pretty consistent striking power. He's consistently moving guys backwards. I think he did a good job of, he's playing tackle. He's going to move inside to guard, but even at tackle, I think did a good job of getting as deep as he needed to work against some quicker edge rushers, handle some stunts with ease when they went at him like that. Really enjoyed getting to watch his consistency. I mentioned it on X. I think I'm here coming out of the weekend and watching back some of the clips I recorded. I think he's Nebraska's surest bet to be a multi-year starter in this 27 class. And this is a class that has some guys in it. It starts at the top with Trey Taylor, Torrey Pittman's in there. You have a few guys, Corey Hadley, who I got to see as well, we'll talk about in a second. Got to see him as well. There's a few guys in this group. It's a big group. A lot of this at the very top I'm pretty high on, but Agbanoma is a guy I think has a chance to work into the rotation from day one. And you don't really say that about high school offensive linemen very often, but with the frame and where he's at from a technique standpoint, I think he's at that point. And two, I think he's got a chance to be a 3-4 year guy and out. I mean, he's as clean a projection as I've seen along the interior of the line in some time, at least the one that I've been able to see in person in some time. And on the other side of the ball for Sandy Creek, Corey Hadley Jr., like I mentioned, he's on the north side of 6 foot now, added some good mass to his frame, was playing both sides of the ball for Sandy Creek, made some good plays on both sides of the ball, didn't allow a single reception until late in the game in single coverage, at least from my count. And he's someone who I think can occupy both safety spots for Nebraska. Like I said, has added the mass he needed to his frame. I've loved the range I've seen from him on tape. Loved it again. The first or second play of the game, he goes from the opposite sideline and tracks down the ball carrier all the way on the other side, or from the opposite hash and tracks down the ball carrier on the opposite sideline. And then later on that first drive on 4th and short, he triggers downhill, fits the run excellently. And then comes up with the tackle for loss to end the Loganville Grayson drive deep in the red zone. And that was his day. I mean, he was all over the place as a pass catcher, all over the place in pass coverage, all over the place as a run defender. Nebraska loves him. Nebraska is really excited about landing his commitment. They think he can occupy either safety spot. The thing with him and the question for me with him moving forward, and it's still something I have with him coming out of seeing him, It's just the overall fluidity. I think he covers a lot of ground well when he's coming downhill. I think he changes direction generally well. But really, when he's got to like turn and run upfield, and when he's got to kind of flip his hips and move, some of that fluidity, it's still a little rigid at this point.
So you got to see these guys kind of up close and watching them play, and you're doing it down in Georgia, which is clearly an area where Nebraska wants to be able to recruit, and they're going to go up against SEC teams and Big Ten teams and Big 12 teams and ACC teams, and so it's a big recruiting area. Do you think there's real momentum for Nebraska? You were just at a game where 5 guys in the 2027 class are slated to go from Georgia to Nebraska. Do you think that they can get some more players in 28 and beyond?
I mean, I think so. I mean, again, just talking to some of these guys, talking to guys in the communities on both sides, both at Grayson and Sandy Creek. Sandy Creek's got a 2028 4-star cornerback in Nathan Holston coming up, who's a 6'3" corner. He's got some big SEC offers, some big SEC attention. Likely to stay in SEC country, but he's really interested in what he's heard from Nebraska so far. Like the relationship he's developed with Addison Williams. And from what he's heard, Addison Williams is from that part of Atlanta. He went to Westlake High School out there. And so, Holston noted there's a lot of older people that he's around that know who Addison Williams is and have told him if he goes to Nebraska, he's got a good coach looking out for him. And that stuff matters. And I think at Grayson, a program that year in and year out, they're in the national mix. They're off to a pretty slow start this year relatively for them. But their program, I mean, in the 28 class, 29 class, just the D-line class alone, they have a 2028 4-star edge in Elijah Tillman, who had multiple TFLs and forced fumble in Friday's game. He was disruptive, and he's a guy at 6'6", 220, kind of playing out of position. He's playing a defensive end in a 3-man front. I think he's best as a stand-up edge and when more of an even front, and so playing a bit out of position, but still having an impact. They have another one in 2029, Rome Samuels, who already has a Nebraska offer. There were a few just on the D-line alone that caught my attention that already have Nebraska offers that just as a result. And Tillman's someone who's already visited. He was up for the Huddle Future Forum back in the spring. And there was a few of those Grayson guys that were on campus for the spring game as well that he was around. So, and he's hearing from his teammates. He goes up against Jordan Agbanoma and Katie Jones every day in practice. So he's hearing from Nebraska commits about Nebraska. Rome Samuel's another one, the 29 cycle, hearing about Nebraska. And so just as a result of that, and even I went up before that game, I went up to the other side of Atlanta, up to Locust Grove. I wouldn't even call it Atlanta. It's outside Atlanta, up to Locust Grove to meet with 4-star offensive tackle commit Timmy Aliu. They have a few underclassmen coming up that are here that have early offers from Nebraska and are hearing positive things about Nebraska, not just from Timmy, but from the coaching staff that has been around, that has seen Nebraska stop through and seen Nebraska land these guys. And so you land these type of guys. It's like if someone were to come into it's like if someone were to come into Millard South from out of state and grab a bunch of Millard South guys. And, from there, it's, they're starting to build that pipeline because that's the program. That's the program you go to if you're coming to Nebraska right now. West Side, same thing. If you're coming to Nebraska to recruit a power program, that's where you go. So Nebraska establishing this type of connection in Grayson, and the fact that it's not just the fact that they've established the connection. You have multiple coaches, specifically Addison Williams and Jeep Wade, that are from the area, that know the area real well, and always have relationships there. It doesn't matter what school they go to; they have relationships there. They're pretty locked into that state.
Last thing for you, you mentioned Timmy Aliu. Obviously, other teams are going to be looking at offensive linemen. They beat out Georgia for him. Is there any concern that you have after meeting with him that Nebraska is going to have to play a lot of defense to try to hold on to him and might struggle to do so?
So it's interesting. He told me, and I'll have a story on him up later today, but he told me straight up that he is GBR for life. He's pretty locked in. He considers himself locked in. But he did note he's continuing to hear from other schools, specifically Georgia, as well as Florida State and North Carolina. And he's considering making some other visits to those programs. He said primarily just to see some games in those places. I met with him on Friday. And then over the weekend or last night, exchanged some texts and does sound like he's going to get out to Florida State here in the next couple of weeks. I think it's next week or the week after he's getting out to Florida State, and then he'll get up to Nebraska early in the season. So There's a few places I know he wants to get out to. I think primarily my read on it is he wants to go see some of these games. The program I would be wary of, especially if he ends up stopping through multiple times this fall, would be Georgia. That's the one program I think can really threaten Nebraska here. He's an in-state guy. I mean, he speaks highly of that program too. I think it's the one program just from a tone standpoint and kind of feeling. You get kind of a gut feel talking to guys. That's the one program that I think would get him to reconsider his current commitment. But I don't know how hard George is pushing right now. I know he's on their radar. I do think he's going to try and get out there for a visit at some point this fall. But for him, I think at this point too, just speak very highly about Nebraska, what Deep Wade, his impact, and just commit class, frankly. I mean, he's really close with those guys, the guys in Georgia, the guys in state. He spent he's taken multiple visits to Nebraska. I think he's visited 6 times in 2026 alone. I think it's 5 or 6 times this calendar year alone. So he's been to Lincoln a good bit.
He's probably been to Lincoln more than I have since I moved and I live here.
Right.
So, all right, Tim, we appreciate it. Thanks so much. We will catch up with you again as Nebraska high school football fully gets underway. I'm sure you and Mike Sautter will be running into each other at various
We'll
games.
probably see each other a little bit.
Make Sautter buy you a popcorn.
Wow.
Mike, I'll probably see you Friday.
Yeah.
All right, that was Tim Verghese inside Nebraska. Great stuff as always. He is going to be busy charting everything Nebraska's recruiting-wise, and I'm sure he's got other trips out of the state as well. When we come back here on Happer and Schaefer, we will see what teams Joey wants us to preview as we continue to work through our kind of our own weird college football preview. No lottery machine. Joey's just going to pick them, and we'll read out a full steal when we return. Welcome back here on Happer and Schaefer. Mike Schaefer in the number one chair. Connor Happer out the next couple days. Mike Sautter in, as it is just dumping here at 50th and Dodge, roughly.
Brought the rain.
I don't know if you could hear during the Tim Verghese segment. There was a loud thunderclap.
It's noticeable.
And then we're getting it to where like cars are driving through water that seems to be standing on Dodge. So you're getting a lot of
the. I'm curious how it is over at Saddle Creek right now, because usually when it downpours, it gets really bad over there.
Yeah, this is
and it's first day of classes at UNO.
I just needed to stop in time for me to be able to run home and get my kid to the dentist and not get drenched while doing so. But,
you got an hour or whatever.
Yeah, it'll stop.
It'll be fine.
It'll stop.
Good luck with that, Dan.
This isn't going to be biblical rain, right?
Well, hopefully not.
Right?
I don't know.
All right, Joey, who we got? Who are we discussing today?
First team out of the ACC, the Florida State Seminoles.
Okay, so we will go to the Phil Steele. Phil Steele has them at number 9. And we're going to go to the Atlantic Coast Conference preview page. And, he talks about 2023, and that doesn't really help us here. Then he talks about some other stuff. Here we go. This year, Mike Norvell is on the hot seat.
Isn't he always on the hot seat?
It does seem that way. And Florida State takes on the toughest schedule in the ACC, facing all the top contenders. Despite their 3-5 ACC record, they were plus 76 yards per game in ACC play. This is a transfer-heavy team once again. And so we were trying to figure out where their quarterback, who is Ashton Daniels.
Stanford and Auburn for Ashton Daniels. So he comes over. It is going to be, I think, tough for Florida State. Now, I don't know if he's projecting a winning record here at number 9 in the conference. I look for Florida State to win the close ones this year and get back to looking like Seminoles, and they make my most improved list in 2026. So Phil Steele sees a little bit of a bounce back here. Obviously, they have some known names. Deuce Robinson, you remember, transferred over. I believe he was at he was USC. Deuce Robinson, that sound right? Sounds right.
That name sounds familiar to me, and I think that's Deuce Robinson. So he and then UCF transfer Randy Pittman are the big additions for the passing game for him. Offensive line has been an issue for Florida State for quite a while. They just dropped off in terms of offensive line recruiting, and so they have never really been able to kind of figure that out. So that'll be a big thing for them. And then, of course, old friends Tony White and Terrence Knighton, James Williams are all over there at Florida State.
Going to be?
So I think they were okay at times last year, and then the bottom sort of fell out. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on Tony White and on Terrence Knighton to kind of get that corrected. And again, they go to the portal. This is where they've had some of the biggest portal successes with some of the guys they pulled out that have been first-round draft picks and Jared Verse and guys like that. They also just have had a lot of misses. They've gone to the portal and it has not necessarily resulted in strong play or cohesive play. And that's a big part of this, is you've got to be able to bring in these guys and then get them to play as a unit, not just individual mercenaries that are looking to improve their stock. Here's the schedule for Florida State. As mentioned, they catch a lot of the tough teams. They start this week. They're a week 0 team. They get New Mexico State at home. And then they have a really fun game on Labor Day Monday against SMU. That is our Monday Labor Day game, so that'll be fun. Get a bye week, and then they have at Alabama. Famously, Mike, Florida State beat Alabama last year to start the year, and everyone's like, whoa, the Noles are back, Mike Norvell. Then they went 4-7.
I watched that game. I remember watching that game like, what is happening?
Central Arkansas on September 26th. Then they get Virginia. Then they have Louisville. Then they have Miami. Then they have Clemson. And then it lightens up a little bit with a trip to Boston College. And then they have schizophrenic Pittsburgh. And then NC State. And they finish with Florida. That schedule is
have Duke
hard. They don't have Duke. They do not have Duke. They do not have Georgia Tech. They don't have Virginia Tech. But they play some top teams at Florida State. So that is going to be a tough year once again for
SMU. Game is a pretty big game.
That'll be fun. That'll be the
Monday night.
SMU
Labor. Could be like a sneaky,
a lot of playoff buzz.
Like
for them.
that's what I mean. Like they could jump in there.
A lot of playoff buzz for them. Okay, so Joey's other team is.
Let's head to the Mountain West this time and preview the Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii.
Okay. Phil Steele has
Hawaii.
them third in the Mountain West tied for third with Air Force behind UNLV and New Mexico as his top teams in the Mountain West. Timmy Chang, you remember Timmy Chang?
Timmy Chang, yeah.
Great
Coach,
college football
yep.
quarterback. Is the head coach at Hawaii.
He just signed a 5-year extension.
Yeah, he did very well for them this past year. So this year, the Rainbow Warriors have 7 starters back, but one is quarterback Micah Alejo, who UH is 15-7 at home the last 3 years and has 4 winnable games and road games. They get New Mexico, North Dakota State, and UNLV at home and avoid Air Force. So my main set of power ratings has them 8-0 in Mountain West play, and yet he only has them as number 3 in the conference. So he's not projecting them to go 8-0, but he is in fact projecting them to go 8-0. Phil Steele is amazing. Every time I read this magazine,
it's in a whole different.
I am dumbfounded.
A whole different language.
It really is.
Also, their new stadium there at Hawaii. It's nice.
Well,
it's a little quaint. It's small.
Is that a new stadium, or are they playing at like the high school?
It's new on campus.
Yeah, it's new on campus. They tore down Aloha
Okay.
Stadium.
Well,
I think
that.
they're building a new stadium at that former location.
But where they're playing now isn't the new stadium.
Yeah, it's not the new stadium.
It's a temporary.
Yeah.
It'll be.
What I was going to say.
It'll
it's
be
kind
much
of like
smaller though.
Yeah. Well, it'll be. I'm sure it'll be cool.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about if you're like UTEP and you have to make the trip to Hawaii and then you have to turn around and
if you're North Dakota State and you got to make
Northern Illinois, new Mountain West team, Northern Illinois this year.
Hawaii going to North Dakota State in November would be. I mean, they do play indoors.
They're in a dome. That'll help.
It's not a dome. It's a building.
They're in a building that is
It's a cathedral.
It's not a dome.
All right. Well, we'll debate that next with free balling here on Happer and Schaefer.
It's time for Free Ballin', where the producer reads questions on things happening in the world of sports. Connor and Mike will have the answers.
I cannot even begin to explain the absolute look of puzzlement that came over Mike Sauter's face as he heard the free ball and open.
I was curious.
It was kind of a what the hell is happening?
So free ball and a proprietary radio segment that no one has ever done on the radio.
No one.
Involves Joey reading questions about the world of sports.
Okay.
And you and I might have these.
Seems pretty simple.
Yeah, but no one had ever come up with this. I named it in honor of Colorado's offensive strategy a year ago, which, according to Julian Lewis, they were just free balling out there. They didn't have an actual plan. And we don't always have plans here at 1620. And so in honor of that, welcome to Free Ballin', Mike. Are you excited to be here?
Yeah, I am. I like stuff
Did
like
you know
this.
that was Joey on the vocals?
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you.
And then he created his own wall of sound.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And somehow sounds beautiful.
It really does.
In my point of view. I'm not sure.
No, yeah.
I look forward to it every time because it makes me laugh every time.
It's pretty funny.
What do you got for us today?
Anyway, speaking of which, the Athletic has a Big Ten SEC challenge in pitted Nebraska and Florida in the number 11 matchup. Both writers took the Huskers in this fantasy matchup played at the home of the 1996 Fiesta Bowl. Would you?
Would you take Nebraska over Florida? It's 2026 Nebraska, 2026 Florida.
Probably this year. Yeah.
I think I would too. It's this is a fascinating exercise. So obviously there's 18 Big Ten teams, 16 SEC teams. So 2 Big Ten teams won't play. But they just paired them up, starting with all the way from the top with Ohio State, Georgia, and then worked their way down and ended up with, I was curious where Nebraska would come in at. They were number 11. And so teams that are in front of them include Michigan at number 8, Minnesota at number 9, Illinois at number 10, and they would have taken on Tennessee, South Carolina, and Auburn, and then Nebraska drew Florida as the number 11 matchup here. And both writers, I mean, basically kind of more or less don't know what to make of John Summerall in Florida this year. They're not entirely sure what Nebraska is, but they think that in this matchup,
a little
Nebraska
more
would be the
established.
favorite. Yeah, I think a lot of it is that they have a better idea of who they are, what they want to be. I don't know if we're a year from now or 2 years from now, if it would be the same thing.
Right.
But the feeling is, at least from the Athletic and their own exercise, Nebraska over Florida in Tempe. And I don't know if Calandria would break as many tackles as Tommy Frazier did on that touchdown, nor do I know if Nebraska would win 55-21?
It was a lot.
62-24.
Jeez. I was off on both scores. Normally you get at least one of those, right? 62.
I'm surprised you did not get the 62 for Nebraska.
Yeah, I knew it was up there.
Florida jumped out early on Nebraska, and then Nebraska just demolished them.
Well, I remember that. And it's one of those
one of the greatest. It's the greatest run in college football history.
Remember Lee Corso saying Nebraska can't beat Florida on grass.
Yeah, he held up the grass, right? Like that was or was it Craig James? One of the analysts held up grass, and that was their reason for why they were picking Florida. And the grass did not appear.
Like the grass is like 14 feet high.
Well, Nebraska had never played on grass. And they couldn't handle the speed of Florida, I think is what they were insinuating. And then the exact opposite happened, and Nebraska's defense demolished any semblance of offense Florida had.
The run was.
And a young Mike Schaefer watched that game on a recorded VHS tape probably about 70 times in the summers that followed.
Wow. I still have the newspaper clippings, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Or the newspaper. It's yellow now, but I still have it.
Newspapers famously not designed to hold up over time.
I know.
I keep saying.
Just saying I kept it. Yeah.
So you think Nebraska? You take Nebraska?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Joey, what do we got next?
Speaking of speed, Las Vegas Raiders running back Ashton Jeanty sprained his ankle and could miss the start of the season, though it's not expected to be a long-term injury. People seem quick to want to call Jeanty a bust because he wasn't particularly good in 2025. What say you two?
His offensive line sucked last year, so that's a thing.
Have you noticed this, though? Like, people already seem to be out on Jeanty.
It's kind of weird.
It seems
the offensive line was terrible. It was a super dysfunctional team, all of that.
And he wasn't great a year ago, but I just I want to see what it looks like with Clint Kubiak.
Mhm.
Certainly want to see what it looks like with Fernando Mendoza whenever we get that at
That's
some
gonna
point.
happen. Yeah.
And so I'm not ready to write this guy off by any means. And people might be like kind of rolling their eyes, and maybe it's the fantasy footballification of analysis, but you don't have to work too hard to find someone who's basically, I don't think Gentry's that good, relative to certainly Jeremiah Love, who just got taken, and then Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jeremiah Love's going to be a stud. Yeah,
seems that way. Yeah. He's hurt too, so he may not be playing early.
This whole reportedly has a sprained ankle thing is reportedly, or he has it. Is it more than that? Is it a high ankle sprain? Is it a regular one?
It depends on who you are and if you need to know.
But I feel like it could be worse than what they're saying
for Genty.
Yeah. Just because of that,
they've since come out and said that they don't expect that he's going to miss time.
I know,
but we'll see. I'm just more curious.
He's no Breece Hall.
What is Breece Hall?
It's pretty damn good.
It's fine.
He's good.
You think Breece Hall's top 10 running back?
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Of the AFC?
And no,
in the NFL?
Yes. Pass catcher, playmaker, makes plays. He's not Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, nobody is. I mean, it's hard to put yourself
next tier.
Okay, but next tier would be McCaffrey, like Henry, Barkley. He's not that. He's not that explosive.
All those guys are old.
Yeah, they're all better than Breece Hall.
It's pretty good.
Would you, if you could, you would take Breece Hall over those three other running backs?
McCaffrey maybe because he's hurt a lot. So
you would
not like Breece.
You would take Christian McCaffrey and not think twice.
I'd probably maybe. I don't know. Breece is my guy though.
Well, good news because the next question is about.
Okay,
let's all do it together. Jets, Jets. There's no question here, Sautter. How are you feeling about the Jets going into this season?
I feel good. I feel like a 6 to 9 win season, which is a positive.
Nice.
Offensive line is fantastic. All 5 starters played every game last year, by the way, which rarely happens. We have Garrett Wilson, A.D. Mitchell, Braylon the Beast Allen, along with my man Breece Hall in the backfield.
Some people might take Braylon Allen over Breece Hall.
Those people are crazy.
That is a great duo of running backs.
It's pretty good. Isaiah Davis is the 3rd running back. He's not a slouch either. It's just a matter of can Geno Smith rekindle? Can he get the Raiders off of him? Is the thing. So it's pretty good in Seattle for a little bit. So we'll see.
All right, I'm going to ask you about running backs, and you tell me who Breece Hall is.
Here we go.
All right. So we've already went through. We mentioned Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. I mentioned McCaffrey and Henry and Barkley, but there's a handful of guys I haven't even gotten to. Jonathan Taylor or Breece Hall.
Oof.
Yeah, you're not thinking about this as Jonathan Taylor. I'm not going to let you. This one I could see you trying to make an argument for, but I don't think people would agree with you. James Cook or Breece Hall?
Oh, Breece Hall.
You think so?
Yeah. James Cook fumbles a lot.
You know what James Cook did last year?
He fumbles a lot.
He ran for 1,600 yards.
He fumbles a lot.
He
also had a significantly better quarterback.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not. Team context matters in this, too. But he also caught 33 passes for 291 yards. So he had 1,800 yards from scrimmage.
That's fine. How many fumbles did he have?
You're taking Breece Hall.
How many fumbles did he have?
Okay, that's not the question here. You would take Breece Hall over James Cook. Achane.
Oof. That's tough. Probably Achane. Achane's pretty damn good. And he's fast he's fast. He can really run.
Chase Brown.
Oh, Breece Hall.
Okay. Super Bowl MVP. Kenneth Walker.
Breece Hall.
You're not serious.
Yes, I am.
Oh, my.
You are not serious.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're taking Breece Hall over Kenneth Walker?
Yeah.
All right, let's look at Breece Hall's career. No
He got hurt,
1,000-yard
though.
season, no 1,000-yard
Okay.
season, no 1,000-yard season.
Team.
His first 1,000-yard season, he ran for 1,085 yards.
He got hurt.
He did get hurt,
tore his ACL,
which
1 year.
is something you have to remember when you're thinking about taking Breece Hall over these other running backs.
Okay.
You really wouldn't take Kenneth Walker?
No, I like.
I'm
Breece
also
Hall.
I'll admit, like, this is closer than I'm making it sound.
Yeah.
I like Kenneth Walker a lot.
No, I like him, but
I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah, with the Chiefs, yeah.
He is already really good. I think he'll be good with the Chiefs. Okay, your guy, Josh Jacobs or Breece Hall?
Oh, Breece Hall.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, if you take Breece Hall over Kenneth Walker, he's definitely going to take Breece Hall over Josh Jacobs.
Can Jacobs run more? Like, can he break a run past 15 yards?
Well, he has a long over 15 yards in every season of his career, so yes,
he could definitely do that.
But the long is
he's got
20.
a 1,600-yard.
But the long is 20 or something.
No, he's got a long over 20 in all.
Breece can actually.
I think his longest run last season was in the Broncos game where he scored a 39.
He had a 40-yard.
Yeah, 40-yard run on the
Breece Hall can actually you can.
Josh Jacobs pretty good.
He is pretty good. I'm not saying that.
You're saying you take Breece Hall.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know that
Omaha.
I don't know that I believe
Omaha born Breece Hall, by the way.
Let's see if there's any other running backs. Okay, this is probably a toss-up. Team context really matters here. Kyron Williams, Breece Hall.
Oh yeah, Breece.
Okay. I don't know how serious to take this from you.
I'm a lifelong New York Jets fan.
No, I get that, but that doesn't mean that you
me.
have to pretend like Breece Hall is better than these other running backs.
It's still. I think he's pretty damn good.
You tried to tell me you would take Breece Hall over Christian McCaffrey.
No, that one's a little sketchy.
This whole thing is sketchy. All right.
I do think the Jets will be okay. Like, I think they're going to be fine. They have 3 first-round draft picks. So
they might have as many first-round draft picks as they have wins at the end of the year.
That's not true.
Okay, well, we'll see.
There's always that
Come
scenario.
on.
It's possible.
No.
I think they're getting last in the division.
Miami?
I like Malik Willis.
Get out of here. But I like Malik Willis, too. Like, I would have liked them to maybe pursue
I would have been
him.
very interested in that from the Jets.
I would have liked them to pursue him as a quarterback.
But they want to lose games, so that's why they went and got
They don't have to lose games. They have 3 first-round draft picks. They can trade up and get whoever they want.
I get that, but they want to. They covet losing.
No, the owner does because he sucks.
He really does. Woody Johnson. What a guy.
Terrible.
What a guy. All right. What do we got? Last one.
Quickly before we get the Browns, Klay Thompson cleared waivers and has joined the Miami Heat and Giannis Antetokounmpo. There anything left in the tank for one half of the fabled Splash Bros?
Ooh, it's really, if there is, it's running on E.
Yeah, he was in
nothing.
Houston, right? Where was
Thompson?
he at before?
No, Dallas.
No,
he was
Dallas.
at
Dallas.
He was at
Okay,
Dallas.
wrong team in Texas.
It's like my truck right now. I got about 54 miles, so I need to
Hey,
get
gas.
empty. He's on that.
You think he's on? No,
he's
that
right there.
is what we need for athletes.
He's right.
We need the gauge
Yeah,
so we can see.
He's on that level. Right
So he's
there.
not going to give the Heat anything. You're thinking?
He's a bench guy.
Okay.
Gadget.
Could he be like Richard Jefferson for the Cavs level?
Kind of like 3-point shooter, come in, help you.
The Cavs or Spurs or both?
He was with the Cavs.
Okay.
Yeah, he was with the
Yeah.
Cavs.
I don't think he's got a lot left there.
Okay. All right. Well, that's free balling.
We got breaking news that Deshaun Watson's named starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
No.
Want to get that?
What?
No to Shador.
The options weren't awesome.
No, you're going in. You knew that your choices were Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders, and Deshaun Watson.
Whatever that for
The Watson thing it's so interesting, especially after he just was like, the fans booed me and da 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 da. Yeah,
You're terrible.
They're terrible.
You're not only quite possibly a bad.
They're
person,
terrible.
You
On
are
N-
bad at as a
on
quarterback.
NFL Network this morning, which has been on this television, all they have shown basically all morning is the Browns and Deshaun Watson throwing picks, overthrowing.
Do the
people
Browns
talking
and
about
Jets
the
play?
Browns. No.
Okay, so that's
Don't
one
do
less
that.
win for the Jets.
Wow, look at you.
I'm just saying.
That's
Something-
not very nice.
Something to keep an eye on. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Michael Bruntz from Husker 24/7 joins us. We'll talk some Nebraska football after their big scrimmage this weekend.
Broncos country, let's ride.
The Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. I said the Bronx is back in town. 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 The Bronx is back in town.
Michael Brooks, Husker 24/7 on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back to Happer and Schaefer, and we have our friend Michael Bruntz joining us on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Bruntz, how we doing?
Not bad. What's up?
Are you how did you spend your last weekend without football until January 30th? What did you do? Did you make use of it? Did you get out and spend time in nature? Did you wander around for many walks in your neighborhood? Did you just stay inside the entire time? What'd you do?
A lot of walks in the neighborhood. Got the dog out a little bit. I forget what I did this week. Yeah, I had some kids crap to do. Had
kids crap.
a little dance practice and kid's birthday party yesterday. So
big day for birthday parties on Saturday and Sunday this weekend.
Yeah, no, it was. I don't know what it is. Like, there's a lot of kids that my kids know that were born in the month of August. So it's just been one after another.
When you said kids crap, I thought you said clean up kids crap. So I almost lost it.
No, that's what I'm still doing with a 2.5-year-old. You guys are out of that phase.
Yeah.
We're thankfully out of that cycle of life, as far as I know. So the next crap that's going to be getting cleaned up is probably them cleaning up mine when I'm old and decrepit. So it's a circle of life, guys.
Many years from now, Michael. Many
That's true.
years. Okay, so before we dive into Nebraska football from over the weekend and what Matt Rule talked about and a few other things, have you looked at the Week 0 slate? Are you familiar with? There's a 9:00 Fox game with UNLV in Memphis. Did you know this?
Yeah, I did.
Is this on your calendar?
Yeah, it's on there with we got USC and San Jose State.
That's an afternoon one. Yep.
Is Hawaii playing somebody?
Hawaii's playing Stanford at home, or Stanford's at home, and then Hawaii's playing there. I've already called this. I called this at the beginning of the summer. Hawaii will leave victorious against Stanford.
Yeah.
So that'll be one of the rare group of 5 wins over a Power 4 team this year.
North Carolina and TCU.
Yep, that one starts things off at 11 a.m. What of these games interest you the most, Bruntz?
Yeah, in Dublin.
That was in Dublin, right?
Yep.
There's been so which of those teams will have the worst year then? Because it seems that generally the through line on teams that play in Dublin is they end up having just absolute crap seasons.
It feels like
the team that's lost
Carolina
in Dublin has been disastrous recently. You know, starting with Nebraska, and then you had Florida State, Kansas State. Chris Kleiman left at the end of last year when they lost to Iowa State. So you're onto something there. That it seems like North Carolina already got started before the game. So.
Yeah,
well, it can get worse, I'm sure. But I mean, TCU. I mean, I don't know what people are actually feeling about their chances this year.
They're a fringy sleeper team for some in the Big 12. I know Max Olson's really high on them. Internally, apparently, they're claiming that they're better than their team that lost 65-7 in the national championship game. So I don't know if they're going to get to that level.
They're favored by 7.5 TCU that game.
Okay, well, it's always a roll of the dice when you're playing in Dublin.
No doubt.
For how that year's going to
Also,
go.
USC plays on Saturday.
Yeah, he mentioned that USC and San Jose State, and then Sacramento State. Which Bruntz are you consider adopting them as a new team to follow since they're in the MAC?
I'm interested in it because they've got Alonzo Carter as the head coach there now, famously former MC Hammer backup dancer Alonzo Carter. So yeah, I'll at least keep an eye on there. I'm a Sacramentonian. I don't know what the name of somebody from Sacramento actually is, but I'm a
never met anyone from Sacramento other than like Lamar Jackson was from a suburb that way, right? Elk
Yes.
Grove.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'll at least keep an eye on him at least.
Okay. All right. Let's jump into some Nebraska stuff here. What did you learn? What's the biggest thing that you learned from this fall camp? The camp is now over. They're into Ohio preparation. They finished up with the scrimmage. What's like your biggest post-camp takeaway when you think about it from a big picture perspective, I guess?
Yeah, I don't think that I'm still willing to buy the offseason conversation about Nebraska's offensive line and what they can be. I don't think that's changed. I think there's a little bit more depth there maybe than what we were kind of expecting going into fall camp. Like the Gunnar Gatula thing that Matt Rule mentioned about how they believe he's one of their best 5 regardless of position. I mean, I think that's something we learned. I don't know that anybody on August 5th would have probably had that strongly on a bingo card. So that stands out. I mean, I think, what else did we learn?
Well, that's why we asked you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking out loud here.
You're good.
I think I think the offensive line piece of it, I'm willing to go along with that.
So you're saying you were not shocked when it was announced that Anthony Calandria would be the starting quarterback?
Well, it was, yeah. I mean, I'm glad we got that firmed up. But yeah, it was good to, I guess, get that officially. So yeah, we didn't learn a ton. I mean, like, and I think that's kind of, partially by design. I think that's also where a lot of fans are at, though, too, where, they actually want to see it. They
Sure.
want to see it on the 5th. And, I think that's probably where we went into fall camp. I think that's where a lot of people are probably exiting camp right now. But I'm very much willing to buy stock and believe in that offensive line. I think they can be very good. That's my biggest takeaway from fall camp.
Did anything that you heard or saw or anything like that, when you were over there or anything with the offensive line, defensive line, defense as a whole, anything kind of change your opinion as to the season ahead, or is it just kind of stacked upon where they were sort of at after the off season, or excuse me, after spring? Yeah,
I mean, I think the big question in my mind is like, well, what is this all going to look like offensively? Like, what is this offense actually going to look like with the pieces that they have? And I think they've got some decent pieces. Like, I do think that offensive line is legit. I mean, when you look at that wide receiver group and you watch them go through even just routes on air, it looks physically like a different group than what they've had. They have more legitimate depth than I think that they've had in quite a while. I mean, it's always one of those things where you feel like you got a ton of it in fall camp, and then you get to October and there's not a ton. But I do like the options that they have at wide receiver. I think they'll be able to piece something together at running back too. I mean, I think that the guys that they have there, the combination with the line, I think that'll be okay. But I think the thing, kind of overarching question is, when Dana Holgorsen says he puts his offense together to fit the pieces that he has assembled, well, the pieces look a heck of a lot different than they did last year at a number of spots, certainly the quarterback being at the top of the list. So what does that all look like? I don't know, but I think I like the pieces that they have offensively. And I think that, this is a team that early on in the season, I think could probably be more likely carried by the offense as long as the scheme matches what they have there.
What do you think on the defensive line, or the defensive side of the ball? The defensive line has some people back, but added some pieces. What is that going to look like? Will they at least be able to pressure the quarterback this year instead of whatever they were doing last year?
Instead of a dancing bear routine.
Yeah, whatever that was.
Yeah. I think the potential's there. I mean, I think that, Rob Orich has been able to scheme up, at other stops, the type of havoc plays and pressure that I think Nebraska needs to have. It's an interesting group because, it's a lot of guys that were kind of newish to the program or at points in their career where, they're making a reset, like Williams Winery, Cade Petchak, who didn't even have a full off season last year and ended up playing, I think, in every game last year. What does Jashir Whittington look like at 280 pounds versus the 200 and I think he was 249 is what he played at Pitt. You're going to need some guys in that group to step forward and play in ways that they maybe in their careers have not to this point. They're going to have to beat potential. I do think the coaching's gotten better at that spot, which I think helps them a ton. I think there's more of a focus on technique, and that was something that last year I didn't think was moving in the right direction. Just based on results and kind of how things looked. So, and the other thing too that I think may help those guys, it felt like they had a lot of guys that were better suited for 4-man fronts than they were for 3-man fronts, and I think they're going to be hopefully put into better positions to succeed than maybe they were a year ago. Like a guy like Riley Van Poppel is a great example. Like I think he's going to fit a little bit better in what they're going to do this year than what he's been asked to do the last couple of years. So I think that helps, but we'll see. I mean, I think when you kind of look at position groups where it's kind of the ultimate, show me, don't tell me. I mean, I think that group is probably right at the front of the line because there's a lot of guys that they feel like can probably help them, but you need to see it kind of play out on the field first, I think.
Do you want to make any predictions for single digits when that gets handed out either later this week or next?
Yeah. I'm trying to think who's got them right now. So we got Van Poppel.
Sure.
How do you guys feel about the 0 number going to somebody large, like a Nash Hutmaker?
I'm good on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any, I'm not Mike Dawson. I don't have any concerns about defensive linemen wearing single digits or 0 or any of it.
It's not a bad look, I don't think. I think Andrew Marshall will get one.
Okay.
He would be one I would point to. I'm going through the list here.
Do you like the single digit thing? I was sort of voicing. It's not that I just don't understand what it is exactly. And it just sort of feels like a put upon thing to me more than it has actual value.
Well, I mean, it's something that came with the coach. So I think that's why it feels a little bit different. I mean, Owen Chambliss will probably get one, I would guess. I would put him on that list. Do we get obviously the offensive line can't have them.
Sure.
Do we get an honorary one, do you guys think?
You think Justin Evans and Elijah Pritchett could be honorary single digits?
Yeah.
I would say Evans. Maybe as a potential honorary guy.
Or like a Lindenmeyer.
Lindenmeyer would be an all right one.
How would you feel? You're our tight end guy. How would you feel if a tight end's rolling out there wearing number 4?
I'd be all right with it. Okay. Split it in half. Well, Bonner's 4, so he'd have to be 0, 1,
9,
6, 7, or 8.
Oh,
so
8 wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, 8 works.
Yeah.
What about this one for an upset? What about Jameer Khan?
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of and remember last year Riley Van Poppel got one, but wasn't necessarily playing more than Elijah Judy or something like that. And then you have some guys who wasn't there somebody who received the honor, but he liked his number that he had already or something. I feel like that was a story at one point in time.
Yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, Khan might be a guy I would consider as maybe outside the obvious guys. It feels like it's much more of a you're voting on it. It's a player thing. It's almost kind of like a captaincy in some way. I feel like without it being that. So I'll say Chambliss. I'll say Khan, and I'll go Lindenmeyer wearing number 8. Although,
okay.
Yeah, I think those are my guys.
All right. Well, we appreciate the predictions here, and we will hold you accountable next Monday and, really come after you if you're wrong on any of those. Brunts, thank you so much for joining here this morning, and have a great week. Enjoy the return of late night football, 9:00 start on Fox, Memphis versus UNLV. You want to throw a prediction in?
I need to do a little bit more reading. I think UNLV will probably win that one. But I think it'll be. I have a little bit of confidence in Riverboat Dan Mullen in UNLV.
Okay.
UNLV. So
do you need a riverboat when you're at UNLV? Can you just walk like outside and find gaming pretty much everywhere?
You can do that about anywhere though now, right?
Yeah,
like
I would think. I've never seen this when I've been in Las Vegas, but you would think that there would just be like slot machines right there on the corner where the street signs are and everything. Like you're waiting to walk across the street, you might as well be able to throw a little money in on a machine.
Gas station slot machine, Dan Mullen. That's what you're.
That sounds right. That sounds absolutely right. All right, Brunts, we appreciate it. Have a great week ahead, and we'll talk to you next Monday when Nebraska football officially returns.
Game week. All right, we'll see you guys.
All right, that was Michael Brunts with Husker 24/7. Be sure to check out his great work along with Brian Christopherson, a Thursday friend over there at Husker 24/7. We're going to take a break. We will come back. Accountability, finish up the show, all that and more when we return here on Happer and Schaefer. Welcome back here one final time on Happer and Schaefer. Big thank you to Mike Sautter for sitting in, and big thank you to you for listening. And here's how I want to reward you for listening to us today. Get online now for your chance to win 1620 The Zone's $5,000 preseason plunder. Could you use $5,000, Mike?
I could. Yes.
I don't know if you're eligible. I think the paperwork
Probably
that
not.
Joey gave you this morning actually took you out of the running.
I don't
of
think
being,
I can win
being
prizes.
eligible for the prize. But look, if you're not Mike Sautter or Mike Schaefer or Joey Warcola or anybody that's in the building here,
Anyone affiliated with
you should
Zone.
be signing up. So get over to 1620thezone.com, enter to win. You can stock up on provisions before the start of the season. Improve your game day experience by upgrading your captain quarters. Cash in on tickets to see your favorite team up close. Improve the tailgate scene. Improve the game day setup. How many televisions are you rocking with your wall when it's Sunday ticket time?
Well, I just have one 101-inch projection.
Okay. So what if the Jets aren't playing? Are you doing a quad box on that thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked the octo
Even
box.
if the Jets are playing, are you still considering doing a quad box?
Maybe.
Unless
Probably a
Brees
good
Hall's
idea.
running the football.
And then I moved. Yeah, that's 100% true. No, yeah. I mean, back in the day when DirecTV had Sunday Ticket, the octo box was awesome.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
You have 8 of them.
No doubt. Sponsored this preseason plunder, sponsored by Ag Consulting Group. Big thanks to them for being a part of this as well. Okay. So accountability. Let's go ahead and play the play it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for accountability.
All right. I don't know that I have anything that I feel particularly strong about. I don't even know if I have much over the weekend.
I definitely
Other than we
do.
definitely gave her kid too much sugar. And, he was at like a carnival / church picnic thing yesterday, and he had snow cones, and
Wow.
he was eating Cheetos, and he's just like a sticky covered mess. And I don't handle it well. I don't like when I'm dirty, and I don't like when my kid is dirty because it just causes me anxiety. I have to get over this. This is a self-scout accountability for me. One, don't let him eat sticky stuff as much. But two, if he does, just acknowledge he's 2.5. He's going to get dirty.
Yeah, it's okay. Like when you win, or if when you have a second child, that those things kind of go away a little.
He went to go eat the snow cone and basically just dumped the blue dye
that
all
would
over him.
That one I would have had. I would have probably.
I did not vote to give him a snow cone.
I probably would not have been okay. I probably wouldn't have. The dumping the thing, like, yeah, that would have.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thrilled. But he ended up with snow cone. He didn't really like it. So part of it is he doesn't like cold food, that like cold like ice cream or popsicles or whatever. And so he'll eat popsicles, but it's a slow grind for him. So when he was just given a snow cone, it just felt like it was a waste of everybody.
Yeah.
Plus he was going to get dirty and I was going to be annoyed by it.
It doesn't make sense.
Joey, what do you got?
Well, yesterday I spent a lengthy amount of time cleaning the apartment.
Oh,
and I tweeted this out yesterday on.
That shouldn't be an accountability. That should be
Warcola.
Celebrated.
No, but here's the accountability part of it. It took me a couple months for me to actually get up and actually clean the place. So
you're a solo individual in an apartment.
Very dusty. I spent a lot of time dusting, then vacuuming a lot. It's not messy, but it just needs a touch-up cleaning, obviously, with the dust and the vacuuming and other things there as well. So I'm holding myself.
It's not like you found old food behind your couch.
Yeah, that is true, but still, it should be a thing where you clean your place like at least touch it up like every couple weeks. Sure. Whereas for me, it took me like 2 months to actually.
Did you put gloves on and then you had the dust finger?
No, I did not. I did not have any.
All right, well that's good.
Which that's probably a good idea.
Sautter, you seem like you keep things pretty orderly and clean in your life.
I do for the most part, yes. Yeah, my stuff is generally put together nicely and neatly and clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am much more of a chaos agent than I think either one of you
I like
are.
being organized, like have the.
I like the idea of
I like
papers
being
on
organized.
my desk at home, my office from home. Like the stuff is right now it's not, but generally like in order.
Sure.
There isn't just stuff all over the desk or stuff everywhere. No.
I need to work on organizing my desk, like here and at home. I'll just have pieces of paper and I'll just throw them in there. And one day I open it up, it's all cluttered with all the papers I have thrown in there.
Plus Matt's stuff that he's thrown in there now.
Yeah.
Kind of like
unfortunately,
You're sharing a desk.
It's kind of like my lawn. I like it to be pretty
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
crisp and
I know that you're very, very particular about your lawn, so I assume the rest of your life falls in a similar fashion.
so most of the time, yes. Not all of the time, but most of the time.
Do you have any? Do you have any accountability? Anything that you want to hold yourself accountable?
Yeah.
for?
Frankly, like I've been a deadbeat dad the last 2 or 3 weeks. So
That's a downer.
No, I've been
Okay.
busy, like gone. So I
You
haven't
have
able-
been busy.
Yeah, but this weekend I made up for a little bit, so I feel good about it.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's good to hold yourself accountable to,
Well, that's why we do it every day.
being a parent because you should.
And if you're not willing to hold yourself accountable, someone else in the studio generally will hold you.
Yeah.
How did the microphones? Everything seemed like they went well.
yeah, everything went
I feel
well.
like I missed a read somewhere in there. I might have to hold
you-
myself accountable for that.
Well, you got plenty of time to do that.
okay,
Yeah, we
is
got
it,
a little
is it
time to
the
get one
Mike
in.
Epps one?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
and the Oregon trip. Go ahead.
Go
It was
ahead.
Both of those?
Yeah, you missed 2.
That's not good. All right. Well, I have time now.
Yeah.
So Mike
plenty.
Epps is coming to Omaha Saturday, September 5th at the Orpheum Theater. Listen all week to Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone to win your way into the show. You can also get special discounted tickets for $16.20 using promo code ZONE. All right. So that's
Awesome.
one.
Mike
And then-
Epps, funny guy.
Mike Epps does seem like
He's a funny guy.
This is September 5th. That's the start of the college football season.
Yeah, that's the
Nebraska
first
plays
Saturday.
at 11.
You can
I
make
do
it.
Big Red
Which is good,
overreaction.
Which is good. You got plenty of time.
I know. I might
You can make it.
just go.
To the
I might go
Orpheum?
right after Big Red overreaction and just go over
There's not,
to.
there's not a lot of great college football games in the first week anyway, so might as well use that time.
I like going to comedians too.
I do
It's,
too. I like
yeah,
like
it's
comedians.
The comedy stuff is always fun for me. You know what else is fun? When 1620 The Zone sends you to Oregon. 1620 The Zone is sending one lucky Husker fan and a guest to see Nebraska battle the Oregon Ducks in Eugene. Enter now at 1620thezone.com for your chance to win. Keep listening to Middays with Matt, the show that comes up right after this one, for bonus chances this week to earn even more entries. The ultimate Husker road trip could be yours thanks to Woodhouse Auto Family and 1620 The Zone. So look, we're sending you there. So 2 tickets to Nebraska versus Oregon, so you can go to the game. 2 round trip airfare tickets for 2 from Omaha to Eugene. A 2-night stay plus a $150 gift card for food, rides, whatever it is that you need when you are there.
That is holding
Whoa.
people accountable. Right
Omaha to Eugene. They're doing the I know this because I've talked to some other people. Omaha has flights that go
Go to
directly to Eugene.
there. Oh, wow.
They're canceling out the middleman. They do this from time to time for Nebraska when they play places. They're smart enough to realize there's usually going to be people who are like, yeah, I'll pay for a direct flight.
I thought maybe Denver and then you.
Well, that's what it would normally. And then you'd have to go to Portland. And then it's like a 2+ hour drive down to Eugene. So
Not fun.
look, get over to 1620thezone.com. Get entered to that. All right. We'll finish up with this because I know you keep an eye on a lot of things in the college basketball world.
Yeah.
And you have some connections in the college basketball world that you've forged and have been born into as well.
Yeah.
I am very interested in your thoughts on what Will Wade is doing.
I have no idea.
But you what he's doing, though, right?
Okay, but yes. Also, Slick Rick Stansbury is the assistant coach who was at Western Kentucky and other places, Mississippi State, and just is one of the grimiest, that there is. And Will Wade's obviously in that conversation too. So it's very interesting. I don't even know if they have a full roster.
They
yet.
don't. So here's effectively what's happening at LSU, which, as I've said, is ground zero
Getting pro.
for professional athletes returning back to college. So you have it all going on with Daquan Wright and the LSU former Ole Miss football players that are now going to try to go play for Lane Kiffin at LSU. And so you have that aspect of it. Will Wade, since the transfer portal opened in April, has only added a handful of players because his plan is effectively to have state judges in Louisiana, which it should be noted is a state in which the governor took full control of the athletic department to fire Brian Kelly. And the governor's involvement would seem to dictate that the state is going to have very friendly rulings from its judicial system for, TROs and everything else that these athletes are looking for. Effectively, Will Wade is trying to assemble a team full of players that played professionally overseas or in the G League or whatever else.
Yeah.
Rather than just going and getting already available players.
Like he's got to have guys already lined up. It just hasn't been done yet. It is very much so an IDGAF situation.
Yeah,
where they just are like, we're doing whatever we want.
If you're and so the fascinating thing is you have Greg Sankey who's on the record saying, hey, I don't want this. I don't want teams in our conference pursuing this.
Well,
meanwhile, you have teams in your conference absolutely pursuing it, while also you have a literal athletic department who's made it its mission to be front and center for both of its major sports.
Yeah, they just don't care. So it's funny.
I just like we talk about this all the time, or Happer and I do, and we complain about the NCAA and all of it, but oftentimes it's the opportunists, the people who don't care about the greater good.
Well, Will Wade in college basketball is like he's one of the dirtiest, slimiest, like people.
He has a reputation. He got suspended, and now he's back at LSU.
Yeah, and he's
like
also,
as soon as he went back there, everybody knew what the score.
Yeah, and it was
so
easily going to be that. He's, I don't know. That one's really tough for me to like that guy. I think he's pretty unlikable. So
what if you're NC State? Do you think you like him?
NC State? Probably no. They don't like him at all. I guess he won a little bit in the 2 years he was there.
Yeah, no, it's not like he didn't have a bad program there, but he also basically just left.
Can you imagine if
you knew he was going to?
Can you imagine if Nebraska men's basketball had like that guy? No way. That just wouldn't fly here at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't think people would appreciate it.
No.
But you know what people
appreciate? Fred Hoiberg.
They appreciate us doing this show. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Mike, thank you again for filling in. Michael Severe fills in tomorrow, so it'll be Schaefer and Severe filling in. Connor Happer out again on Tuesday. He returns on Wednesday. Our regular guest on Tuesday. We'll see you there.